If music is the soundtrack to life, then let's listen to the stories. I'm Tito. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
I like your backdrop right there. Is that your, are you in your studio or what?
Thanks, man. Yeah. In my studio, this is like gifts up here. This is what is that? The Natives Collective.
Oh,
This is
yeah.
my grandma down here. It's a picture of my uncle. Oh, that's my great grandma. That's my
Oh, I can't see the
grandma
one
up
right
there.
up there above the where you
Used to
pointed
work
above
there.
that Homeland Security. I can't see up that far past the camera. Yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah. My grandma's up there. It's a picture from when she worked at the IGA on my res.
What's the IGA?
Oh, it's like I don't even know what it stands for, but it's like a government ran grocery store. It's a grocery store on my res.
A government run one?
Yeah, it's like something because you find them in small towns too. Like most of the reservations that I've been to have IGAs.
Yeah.
But like my mom's res has an IGA, my dad's res has an IGA. If you go to a small town, there's a IGA usually.
Yeah. Huh. I know I was just in Toronto and they have a government bar, not bars, beer,
Brewery?
no, places where you can buy beer.
Oh, like a liquor store.
Yeah, liquor store. There you go. I don't know why I can't. Because I went looking for. I was just there a couple weeks ago, and I was like, man, I want a fucking drink, and I went trying to find a store to go buy some beer or something, and I couldn't find shit, and I was like, how do you guys get drunk around here? And right, because I mean, I just wanted to get buzzed because I took a Camelback. Right, and do you know what that is?
Yeah.
Okay, so I got a Camelback, right, and I took it with me. And I said, fuck it. When I walk around out there, I don't want to be stopping in all these bars and spending too much money on like $15 on a simple little drink, and has very little alcohol in it. And my goal is not to get drunk, but it's not I don't want to spend a lot of money on shit I don't have to. And two, I want to spend most of my time having fun walking around. So if I got the Camelback hose, let's walk over here.
The party pack.
The party pack. Hey, I'm really hoping we're just going to shoot forward with this. I'm really hoping, bro, that the audio on this works and that Riverside FM does not fucking let me down. So, if I hit you up later and I say, dude, we got video, but we got no audio. But let's just shoot forward as if we're just two guys shooting the shit because I want to find out about you. I came across you on another podcast on Res Metal Podcast.
Oh
yeah, and I really like that dude's podcast because he's always talking to unusual people, and and I like that because a lot of times there's especially in the native marketplace. I've been doing stuff in the music world for a lot of years, and a lot of times it's the same old. And when I heard your podcast, I was like, what's this guy all about? So I went and I YouTubed you. I do most of my searching on YouTube, right? Because I'm a video guy. I love to see video. And some of your videos popped up, and I was like, this motherfucker's badass. And dude, I was like blown away because I love all types of music. I make all types of music. Over at gooderkind.com, you'll see a bunch of music I make. I make animated music videos. I do all kind of stuff. I just released last year, like Navajo Halloween songs and Christmas songs and stuff. I do goofy shit. I just say fuck it. I do it because I love music and I want to hear shit. And punk is one of the things that has always been really close to my heart. I'm an old school metalhead, deathhead. I love death metal. I love grindier, guttural vocals, real distorted, heavy guitars. And when it comes to punk, I used to hear people telling me that Green Day was punk, and I thought they were laughing, like I thought they were joking with me, like, oh, Green Day's not punk, because to me, punk was always like just really hardcore, punch you in the face kind of shit. And then they described it was pop punk, and I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Radio friendly punk, I get it. It's kind of like how new wave was taken from the punk rock movement, but it was made to be radio friendly.
Right.
And I've grown an appreciation for pop punk over the years. And when I heard your stuff, I was like, dang, this is like a really badass version of pop punk and hardcore punk. And I really love it because there's those rap elements in it.
Mm.
And dude, I love that. I love that.
Thanks,
And the
man.
visuals, I love the visuals. I'm a visual guy, dude. And I love the visuals in your music video. And I love the fact that you even made a music video. A lot of times people don't make music videos.
Yeah.
So I want to find out about you. I
Okay.
can talk through this whole show, but I brought you here to hear about you, not me. So let's start from the beginning. Tell me I don't know if you want to tell me your real name or whatever, and then why you go by 1876. I'll leave that up to you.
Yeah.
Tell me about your origins. Where are you from? What was there? Like, how did this get started?
Yeah. Well, my name is Gabe Colhoff. That's a Pine Ridge name, but I'm Northern Cheyenne and Blackfeet. Pine Ridge married into the Cheyenne, and I got the name. But
Okay.
yeah, my name is Gabe Colhoff, Northern Cheyenne and Blackfeet. 1876 is in reference to the Battle of Little Bighorn, but
Okay.
it's less about the idea of killing Custer, which we did, which the Cheyenne did, and if anybody tells you different, they're wrong. But it's less about that and more about the idea that the Oglala, the Northern Cheyenne, the Blackfeet, and the Arapaho all came together and put their differences aside, had a common goal, and supported each other, and did it in a way that was like that was really based in our land and based in our beliefs and all that stuff. Like like the chiefs, can't say their names, but when they came to our land and they had their ceremonies and had their visions, they came to our land to have those visions, and we invited them to our land to go to the sacred spot where we knew they could have vision. So anyway, that idea of supporting each other and having this common goal, 1876, the name is a reminder to all Indians that if we continue that, if we work together, support each other, have a common goal, the same way that you're supporting me and now I'm supporting you, we will accomplish what the world says cannot be accomplished. Because Custer himself, this is a direct quote, Custer himself said, "There are not enough Indians in the world to stop the 7th Cavalry." We did it. So we always had that home field advantage. We always have that power. We know this power of this land like nobody else does. So we have to be able to work together, to utilize it, and to accomplish what we want to accomplish. But we can't do it without working with each other.
That's badass. So take me back. Your when did you? No, actually, let me ask this. So, do I refer to you as 1876, or is that the band name, or how do you?
That's the band
because
name.
if I remember correctly, I was watching Res Metal podcast, and you were solo.
Yeah, I was at the time.
Right.
Yeah, so I started this on my own back in 2020. I'd been trying to start this for so long because I've had this idea for a long time. I was in a band many moons ago, and we tried to bring a powwow drum into one of the songs that was built perfectly for it.
Yeah.
And like this was like probably almost 15 years ago.
Yeah.
And for whatever reason, when the final cut came, the powwow drum was taken out of the recording. I don't know why, but it was, so it didn't happen. And since then, I was just obsessed. I was like, I have to be able to make this work. And so I started time went by where I just didn't play music. But then recently, like starting in like 2000, maybe 17 or 18, I kept writing these songs that were built around powwow music and punk rock and how they could like kind of like support each other and dip in and out and all that. And I kept recording this stuff, and my computers would crash every time. I'd get like almost a full EP, and my computer would crash and delete everything. So I bought a different computer and did the same thing. I recorded the full EP. Everything was ready. The first EP that we put out, or that I put out, was already recorded twice on 2 different computers, and they both crashed and erased everything. So then I was just like, fuck it, man. Like, I don't understand what's happening. And I had like a existential crisis. And then my wife bought me a computer and was like, hey, I think you can do it with this. And that's what it took. And I recorded everything, and it all came out in 2020. And like, I was raised traditional, so I kind of have a feeling that was like almost divine intervention, or with lack of a better term. Like the the people on the other side were like, nah, man, the world's not ready for this yet. Like, we're going to keep, or I was doing something wrong. I was saying something incorrectly or putting the wrong kind of energy into it. And the people on the other side were like, nah, dude, this isn't right. And we're just destroying everything until I knew how to come at it correctly, you know? That's what I believe, but who knows? Could just be technology being technology.
Yeah. So what do you believe? What is what's your religion or your personal beliefs?
Well, like I said, I was raised traditional, but I was raised traditional Cheyenne way. My mom is Blackfeet, my dad's Northern Cheyenne, and growing up, I mostly practiced Cheyenne way. I know some Blackfeet way, but my mom, I'm enrolled Northern Cheyenne, and my mom and dad had to make that decision when my brothers and I were kids. Like, because we're sons, my mom was like, I think they should be enrolled with you, my dad, because they're sons, so they should follow your way. But my mom always taught us Blackfeet way too. So like I still go back to Browning, all that. But mostly Cheyenne way, so sweating, all that kind of stuff, you know.
Okay. So when did you, well, I guess when you were recording and crashing and recording and crashing and you were saying, fuck this, you had to say that sometimes, right? Like, fuck this is not working out. Mm-hmm. What did you have the name 1876 then?
Yeah, I think back in 2017, I think, is when I came up with that name. It's when I really just felt that energy from the name. When I was just saying 1876, and there was just so much significance in those numbers. And I think I really thought of it back at Standing Rock. I was there, and that's when it all, like, everything just clicked for me there. And that's when all this information just started coming into my brain of, like, my record label, which is FTP Records, 1876.
FTP Records?
Yeah, it's like a TP with an F on it.
Pretty cool. So what does that stand for?
Fuck the police.
Okay. So you were at Standing Rock. You're when you say Standing Rock, explain it to the people listening. You're talking about the protests and all that stuff, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was there for the protest. I actually stayed with the Southerners. I came in, or the Southwestern tribe. I came in at night with a friend of mine. We had come up there. We'd gathered a bunch of supplies here in Portland from, she's a nurse, so she asked a bunch of her rich doctor friends, and I'm a slummy city kid, so I just asked all my slummy city friends, and we got everything together that we could, water and all that. And we brought it up to Standing Rock just to deliver what we could, because I knew the type of energy that I had at that age wasn't what they needed. So I was like, let me bring some supplies and we'll be good, which is what my grandma did during Wounded Knee. My grandma on my mom's side, the Blackfeet side, they were all there at Wounded Knee, second Wounded Knee. So
I was just gonna say, you're talking about the AIM Wounded Knee, not the
first
one. Yeah. Okay.
So it was kind of like in that same kind of honor. Like, my grandma wasn't there to stand off and look tough. She was there to cook for them and bring them supplies. So that's what I did. So when we rolled in at night, because we drove straight from here to there in one day. So we rolled in at night.
So from Portland to Standing Rock, how far was it? Like, how many miles or how many hours or whatever?
It was like 20 hours, 21 hours.
Driving straight, switching off?
It was mostly me.
How many people?
Just me and my nurse friend.
Okay.
Just two, and then a truckload of stuff. So I didn't want to stop, because at the time there was such a highway of people going that direction that all the cowboys and all that shit were like, they would see who was coming to Standing Rock and fuck with them and stuff. So I didn't want to get caught up in that. So I was like, let's just drive straight there. Anyway, we came in at night, and that area, like Standing Rock, that's Cheyenne area too. I mean, it's their res, but back in the day, that's our area too. So I knew the protocols when I got there. Like, I knew we couldn't dig a hole for a fire. It was better to not start a new camp and just get in with somebody who invites you in.
You can't dig a hole? What do you mean?
because it's holy land, so you shouldn't, like you should refrain as much as you can from breaking ground on holy land. And
Oh, I didn't know that.
yeah, that's how we are on the plains. I mean, Cheyennes are so similar to Sioux. I just went back to my roots as a Cheyenne.
Right.
I just know what's right for us, and I assumed it was probably the same for them because they're Sioux. So anyway, I didn't want to break ground or stab the ground or anything like that, and be as respectful as I could to the land.
Right.
And I was like, just roll in. We'll just roll in, and whoever takes us in will take us in. And then the Southwestern people came over. I can't remember his name. I think his name was Ben. It's the kid that ran from the Navajo kid that ran from the res down there and all the way there to Standing Rock. Can't remember his name.
I don't know. I don't know. When all of this stuff was going on, I was trying not to pay attention to none of it. I was running a magazine company at the time, and my head was already like in so many different directions. And I remember I was trying to get somebody. This is like right as I was ending my magazine days, and I remember I was trying to get somebody to go down there and trying to cover something because I was like, because I wasn't doing the magazine anymore, but I was doing a lot of video stuff, and I just couldn't get anybody reliable. I didn't want somebody that was just going to be going out there talking shit, raising hell. Because a lot of people are just like IG warriors, like
right.
Too many people just want to snap pictures with the feather and look cool, but they're not legit and they're not real and they're not there for the real purpose of what you should be there for.
Yeah,
and
I agree.
So it sounds like you were there with the right intention. I mean, even just hearing something like you didn't want to stab the ground or that does sound like somebody who was raised with the right intentions, like good parents, good grandparents, good aunties, uncles, and stuff like that, saying, "Hey, son, Yaj," or I don't. What did you guys call little kids back over there? But down here, you always had somebody saying Yaj, like son,
Yeah.
So anyway, good.
So we stayed with the Southwestern people. My tribe rolled up because I had a big morning star on my back, which is like the symbol for our. I don't even have one in here. It's the symbol for my tribe. Oh no, it's not up there either. I had one on my back of my jacket, so my tribe rolled up, and they're like, "Hey, who are you?" And they're like name checking me.
Wait,
and all
I think I've seen it. Is it in one of your videos?
Yeah, it's like a diamond with four lines.
Yeah.
That's a morning star. It's a Wohiev, means morning star.
Wohiev?
Yeah. So anyway, so my tribe rolled up and was like, well, come hang out with us. And I was like, yeah, well, these people already took us in, And I know your guys' is like tradition. Southwestern people, when like they're very inviting, and when they offer you food or they invite you in, like you have to do it. It's like the highest disrespect if you say no, or they invite you in and you leave. It's like really disrespectful. And I knew that about your guys' people down there in that area.
Yeah.
So I was like, no, I'm gonna stick with them because they invited us in, and as a Cheyenne and as a Blackfeet person, I have to honor that. So I did go visit with the Cheyenne, but I stayed with the Southwestern people. They were nice, man. They were really cool people. Talked to the grandma about.
So, like, were they Navajo and stuff? Is that who you stayed with?
Yeah, they were all Navajo.
So you probably had some real fry bread then, some big ass hubcap size fry bread, huh?
There was actually there was white people staying there. So the white people are the ones. There was white people who were they're like hippies who lived off the land, like in what's it called, where Mount Rushmore is. In South Dakota. It's my people's holy land. I should know the name of it, but
there's white people living there, and that's where you guys stayed.
They lived off the land in that national park. That's where they lived, and so they heard about Standing Rock, and they're like, this is a cool thing for us. So they came over, and they're staying with the Southwestern people because they invited them in. And so they were the ones cooking, so we're eating like hot dogs with mayonnaise and shit. They were super sweet. They were nice people, really nice. But the Navajos, when I stayed there, mostly the only thing I got from Navajos was I learned how to say yate correctly, right?
You did pretty good.
Yeah, and tea. I drink a lot of tea with the elder that was there.
Oh, that Navajo tea?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
And she taught me about, I don't know if I want to talk about it recorded, but she taught me about how you guys blessed yourselves with smoke, and it's the opposite from my people.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. But
No, you could talk about it. Talk about whatever you want. Yeah.
I know some of that stuff shouldn't be like
Yeah.
recorded, but yeah,
Yeah.
you guys go feet up, right, so that you grow tall. That's what she told me.
What do you guys do? What do you guys do?
We go head down.
So you don't grow too tall.
Yeah.
Because you fuckers are all tall as hell over there, man.
That's what I was saying. I was like, you guys go feet to head so you grow tall. It's not working. Flip it.
No, it's not. Well, I don't know. So my wife. So I'm short, right? I'm half Spanish and half Navajo, and so I'm from a small town called Shiprock down here in the Navajo Res. It's a border town, and so I'm short. I'm 5'8". It's a regular human height, right? But,
I'd say that's tall.
But my wife's family, my wife is short, 5'3", somewhere around there. Her mom's a midget too, just like that. But god damn, bro, all the guys are like fucking like touch the clouds kind of people, you know, like
dude. I don't understand it. Like Navajo's come in like two sizes. Like it's like either short or like Montana size, like bigger
Montana
than me.
Size,
yeah.
How tall are you?
I'm small. I'm 5'11".
5'11"? You're taller than me, bro.
Taller than you, but my brother's like one brother's like 6'1", the other brother's 6'3" and like 250. Like they ate all the food, they got all the good genes, like they get all big and I'm small. Yeah,
no, you're a good height. Between 5'8" and 5'11" are I think a normal heights.
I'd say that's average.
Human heights. You know, anything above 5'11", that's like you're getting into like Sasquatch territory.
Yeah, why would you want that?
Yep. So okay. So you got out there and you're learning some stuff from some Navajo people, and you were hanging out with other tribes too, I'm assuming.
Oh yeah. I walked around and I found my people. I was finding people that I know who were over there. I was looking for the Blackfeet. The funny story is like there were so many Sioux there, obviously because it's Sioux land, and I would ask somebody random. I'd be like, "Do you know where the Cheyenne are?" And they'd be like, "Yeah, they're that way." So I'd go that way, and then I'd get whoever they were saying, and I'd be like, "Hey, do you know I heard the Cheyenne over here. Do you know where they are?" They'd be like, "Yeah, they're that way." So then I'd go that way, and then I'd end up somewhere with a flag that says Cheyenne River Sioux, and I'd be like, "No, the Northern Cheyenne." And so like I'd have to find him, and then I went to like somebody else, and I was like, "Hey, do you know where the Blackfeet are?" And they're like, "Yeah, they're that way." And so I'd go, and then there'd be nobody there, and I'd be like, "You know where the Blackfeet are?" They'd be like, "Yeah, they're that way." So I'd go, and then I'd end up with the Blackfoot Hill Sioux. And I was like, there's other people than Sioux. There are other tribes. There are Blackfeet and Northern Cheyennes. Where are they? But yeah, I was hanging out with one of the Navajo guys. His name is Xander. Can't remember his last name, but he has his clan tattooed right here. It was badass. But we were walking around, just meeting people. Cool.
How many people were there? Did it feel like you were at a concert?
The first camp did. So there's two camps, and I think the second camp was Ocheti, and the first camp, I can't remember what it was called, but that was like the Hollywood camp, like where all the yurts and everything were. A lot of people don't know that, and I think only people who are really there really understand what it was like. So we went to the first camp, and when I rolled in, it was like dreaded up white guys with like, they were running security, and they were asking me a lot of questions, and I was like, dog, I'm in my own land. Like, why are you asking me so many questions? And they were just really standoffish. They had ski masks on, and I was like, this is a weird energy, man. And there was like kids running around naked, and I was just like, this is so strange, dude. So we rolled in, and
white kids or native kids?
White kids.
Huh.
This is where like Shailene Woodley and all the Hollywood people, when they would come, that's where they went. And so like I rolled into the camp and rolled down this hill with this truck full of stuff, and I was like, hey, we're here to donate the supplies. And they just opened the truck bed up and started taking shit out. And I was like, whoa, like, what's going on? And so they just took everything, and they started taking, like, my dad gave me his Pendleton. He has a Smokey the Bear Pendleton that the BIA gave him because he worked for forestry. And this guy started walking away with my dad's blanket, and I was like, dog, that's my blanket. He was like, oh, it's a nice blanket, and I was like, yeah, it's mine. And so like they just took everything.
Wait,
And
those guys were white people or natives?
It was mixed. It was like
Mixed. Okay.
yeah, white people and Indians, mostly white people, but there were Indians. And so I told my friend, like, I don't think we should stay here, man. Maybe we should go back to the res and just stay at a hotel because I don't got a good feeling here. And so I asked somebody, like, is there somewhere else to stay? And they're like, oh, yeah, Ocheti is just down the road, but you got to go through the police barricade. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. And so I told my friend, like, let's go check that out. And if it's the same energy, let's just stay in the res on the hotel and go home.
Yeah.
So we went that direction and went through the police line, and down there is like the famous one where you see all the photos of the flags and the teepees. Like, it felt more like a powwow, honestly. I mean, it shouldn't, but it did. Like, I rolled it, like, you roll in and there's just like there's a line of flags and then fucking teepees everywhere. It was dope. I was like, this is where it's at. And I felt so bad that all of our supplies was gone. I think all we saved was a carton of water.
Oh, that's fucked up.
Yeah, and we gave everything we had to the camp that we stayed with, the pallet of water and the food that we had bought for ourselves to cook, we gave to the camp. But I was just like, man, all the shit that all these white guys with dreads just took, that should have been here. That's what we brought it for. But yeah, so I don't remember what your question was.
No, I'm just trying to figure out like where you're at. The initial question was we were talking about the name 1876 and the origins of it and what led you to like call your band that. And so you said you were down at Standing Rock and you just started like having these thoughts and so on. And so that's what was leading up to it. And that's why, like, when I talk to people, I don't even hardly talk about people's music.
Yeah.
I talk about who they are because I want to know who the person is that's creating the music. Like, for example, I fucking love music, bro. My first love has always been music. And like the other day, I was watching a Rick Beato video. I don't know if you knew who that is, but it's on YouTube. You know what I'm talking about? Yeah,
Italian guy.
Yeah. And so he was doing an interview with Kirk Hammett from Metallica, and I was like, "Fuck, I want to." Like, I like hearing people's thoughts on the process of making music, why they made music, the instruments they have. Kirk Hammett went on this whole thing for like 15 minutes talking about his guitar, the origins where he got it, and how many times it was belonged to somebody else, and how he hopes when he's gone it goes to somebody else who plays it and stuff like that, right? So, I'm just trying to get an understanding of who you are and what you were seeing and feeling and hearing and all that stuff, because there's something important there that happened. And that's what led you from that point to this point being here with me today, because I saw, I'm pointing at another monitor I have, I saw this guy on a video and I heard him in a podcast, and now I'm talking to him and I feel like, man, I really want to get to know this dude because this music is fucking badass.
Oh, thanks, man.
So you were down at, I'm going to fuck up the name, Ocheti. So you're down at Ocheti, and
I think that's how you say it. It's not my language. That's what I heard.
Oh, okay. So we'll both fuck it up together.
We're both fucking it up.
Sorry, whoever's language it is. Apologize. Yeah. So you were down there, and so you arrived down there, and what was your feeling when you got into camp?
When I got into the first camp, the second camp, Ocheti. Yeah. It felt like a powwow. It was more what I was looking for. Not looking for, but it's what I was expecting. Right. There's a security guy, and he was super dope. Like, he just reminded me of my family because he was Sioux. I could tell right away. And so, like, the way he approached me and talked to me, it was like protocol, kind of. Like, the way he talked to me, I was like, okay, I'm cool here. Like, this guy recognizes.
Let me see if I can imitate that guy. I don't know him, but I've been to a lot of places, a lot of protests and powwows. Was he now? Let me see if I can kind of get him. Is he a bigger guy, kind of hefty? I don't want to say fat, but on the bigger side, and with the tight shirt. What's up, bro?
He had a tight shirt. He wasn't heavy.
What's up, bro?
Yeah. It was that. Yeah.
We're kind of laid back. We're real serious compared to the white guys who were like, hey, hold on, hey. Right?
Yeah, so like we rolled up and he had a flashlight because it was nighttime and he was security. Yeah. So we roll up and he's the first check and he's like, what do you got in there? And I was like, oh, and I was like, we're bringing supplies. And he took his flashlight and he's like, where's it at? And I was like, oh, the dreads just took it. And he was like, oh, okay. You got any weapons? And I was like, I got a knife. And he was like, okay, would you tell me if you had any more weapons? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, okay, you're good. Go ahead.
Yep. It sounds like the guys I've encountered. Okay.
Yeah. Oi. But yeah, so we rolled in and it was kind of like, I mean, I've said this like a million times, it was nighttime. So it was kind of weird. I didn't you can't see anything. And I had heard stories that there was like police in all black that would come in when I was there, they're like, don't walk alone because the police are all in black and they'll come snatch you up.
Oh, so, how many days how many months or I don't even know how long the standoff lasted. How long into it was it until you arrived there? Because it sounds like it had been going on a while before you got there.
Yeah, it was pretty established. I was there in November. I can't remember if it was like early November or something like that. So I believe it started like in the spring of that year. And then
what year? Take me back to it.
I think it was 2016. 2015 or 2016, something like that.
It's a while back because I remember I think 2016 sounds about right because I had a buddy who came down from Phoenix and he was staying with us for a while and he kept bugging me. Again, this is like after the magazine had kind of dwindled out and I was just doing video stuff and he was like, dude, let's go down there, man. Fucking stand up for our people, man. Yeah. And he was really trying to get me to go down there. I was like, I don't want to. I personally don't want to go down there. He goes, why the fuck not, man? And I said, I've already gone to a lot of these protests and stuff, and a lot of them are really fake. There's a lot of fake people here, and I don't want to get involved with them. And I'm just tired of being around fake-ass natives who want to snap pictures of themselves and this and that and the other. Or, you got these really proud native women who are like, save the sacred grave, save the language, save the land. And they're standing there with a white baby or a black baby in their hands. And to me, that's a fucked up thing because you're not standing by what you're saying. And this is coming from a half breed saying this shit. So
I was like, you're talking to a half breed, son.
Yeah. And so like, and when people hear me say this shit, I always had to put out that, like, hey, look, you're talking to a half breed. I know what I'm fucking talking about. And I'm tired of being around fake ass people. If you really believe what you're saying, you're going to abide by that shit all the way down the fucking road, no matter how bumpy it gets. Right. So, I kept telling him, no, dude, I said, why don't you fucking take off up there, man? There's a lot of you get a lot of fucking ass when you're out at these places, man. Those fucking native hippie chicks. Woo. I love it. So I said, bounce out there, but he never went. So that's why I was like, I know a lot of these environments are kind of like you got the groups where there's like the younger, we'll call them bougie natives. And then you got the other groups where it's like traditionalists, a little bit older, there's grandmas and elders and stuff. And then, so people are chopping wood over there and then you got the other group that just came out the fucking party. Right. And so you got like that's the 49 group, right? And so you have all these little factions. That's why I was saying, is it kind of like a party when you went there or at a concert? Because that's what it's always been like to me historically, no matter all these protests and stuff that I've gone through the years, starting in the 90s, like just going out to these places. And so you're driving in and you're meeting fucking security bro, passes you through. He's not working at TSA. And so you get in and then so you park for the night and stuff, right? Like how do you find your way around? Because you're kind of skeptical about where you're at. You're already talking about, man, there's might be some pigs out, some cops out here, abduct my ass, right?
Yeah.
And you don't know if those are just BS stories or what, right?
Right.
And
yeah.
So you don't know.
Tales.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We were rolling around. I was looking for my tribe. Like I was trying to see the flag because I knew that they had a teepee with their flag. Because the Cheyennes, like it's in our blood.
You could have just used the age-old caca.
Yeah. Hooty
Hoo-doo-doo.
hoo.
Just wait. Oh, that way.
Yeah. Hey, where the crows at? Over here. Oh, okay. That's where I'll
Yeah.
go. Go opposite of where they are.
Right. All right. Cool.
Yo,
I'll go the
that's
other way.
yeah, yo, that's where you'll find the Cheyenne.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was just looking for that, but it was nighttime and like everyone was getting ready to sleep, and so I told my friend, let's just pull over here in this little blank space, and we'll camp out tonight, and then tomorrow we'll go walk around and find people
Yeah.
who can take us in. And so when we rolled up to that empty spot, that's where the Southwesterners were, and they immediately walked out. And I was like, oh shit, here we go. And they're like super sweet. They're just like, hey, you guys staying here tonight? And they're like, yeah. And they're like, hey, we'll come in. We have food. Come set your camp up closer to us. And they're like, do you want to build a fire? And I was like, no. I don't want to do that here. And they're like, okay, come use ours. And I was like, we brought wood, so you can have our wood. So immediately, like, it was like old school. It felt like, because we just traded like immediately. They gave us drinks and we gave them wood, and we called it good, and we all sat around the fire. I think it was funny. We're all sitting around the fire, and at night, like with my braids and everything, and by firelight, I looked like a regular Indian. I could tell. So they're like all listening to all my stories and all this shit. And then I wake up in the morning and I could see their faces like, that white guy is the same guy we were talking to last night. Willie Nelson over here is actually Indian.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
No. Hey, I feel your pain, bro. I feel your pain. People always like, is this dude fucking Middle Eastern or Mexican? What the fuck is
right,
he?
Yeah. So, yeah, but it was cool, man. They were super nice there. After that, like, to be honest, like, it was cool. What was cool about it was like every morning I'd wake up before the sun rises, because that's just what my body wanted to do. And like spiritually, like that's how Cheyenne are supposed to be. We're called the Morning Star people because we would rise before the sun. And if the sun caught you, like it was like bad medicine or whatever. Different now because we all have jobs. But when I'd wake up in the morning, I'd come out and do like my medicine and all that morning prayers. And I'd look around and I'd see everybody from different tribes, like all around you. The Southwesterners, I would go away from their camp just so I didn't disrespect them. And I would like look this way and you'd see Yakima or some coastal Indians out here with their big shells and all that stuff. And I don't know, man, it was really cool just to see that aspect of it, of all these different Indians who were all praying their way on Sioux land, all for the same reason. It was really moving. Yeah.
So at what point, like, were you did you start having your aha moments about your music?
Well, I'd already had that idea kind of in my head, but it was just kind of like just being there. I think I mean, I don't like to talk too much shit about other artists, but I saw a lot of artists there who are currently famous, and I was just like, this is who. I was watching their actions while they were there, and you were talking about bougie natives and people being there for the photo op. There was a lot of that going on, man, and there's a couple artists particularly that I saw who I was like, I know your way because your tribe is similar. Your tribe is mine. We're brothers.
Right.
We're not from the same tribe, but your tribe is brothers with my tribe, and we shared a lot. I know your way because your way is my way. There's subtle differences, but you know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And I was watching their actions and how they were behaving and stuff like spitting on the ground a bunch and like recording videos and cussing a bunch and all this shit. And I was like I don't have a problem with cussing or spitting or any of that, but when you're on holy ground, you don't do that. You should know that, you know? And so I was watching these dudes and I was like, there was a part of me who was like, this is who represents us. Like this is who talks for our people. These people. Like I know better.
Are they artists that I know, that I've seen?
Oh yeah.
Like they're native artists you're talking about, right? Like
Yeah.
famous in the native circuit, right?
Oh
Okay.
yeah. Very very famous.
Wonder
Yeah.
who this
So
could be.
yeah. So yeah, I don't know. So there's that aspect of it where I was like, well, if these people are gonna act like this, and I know better, how come I'm not? Like you can't just sit there and shit on somebody and be like, oh, he's not blah blah blah. He's not. Do better. Do something different.
Right.
That's what I believe. You can't just sit there and point fingers and say you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this, you shouldn't do this. Be the
Right.
thing that you should be. So that's what I was like. That's part of it. I was like, all right, well, if this is how they're gonna be, and people are gonna gravitate towards them, then let me do what I'm gonna do because I clearly know something they don't, or something. You know, I don't want to say that, but you know what I mean. Like I'm just.
I get what you're saying because I've encountered a lot of those kind of natives, and it's one of the reasons why I don't like I drag my magazine was called Native Entertainment Magazine, and I've met a lot of people and spoken to a lot of people, and for the past 20 something years I've been interacting with people and in the native marketplace because I just have a fucking lifelong hard on for fucking native music, native culture, native things, hearing our story from our perspective, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Right? I'm on this fucking lifelong thing, whether I love it or hate it or whatever. It's just I'm trying to find an alternative view of Native America, and in that journey, I've ran into a lot of fucking assholes who are two-faced, triple-faced, and I try my best to be. It sounds like you try to do the same thing I do, where you try to do your best, try to stay in your lane, try to mind your own business, and for some reason, these are the guys who are supposed to be these voices of our people, right? Or they're very prominent because you always see them. These are probably people that I've seen out there in video and whatever else, and they're always talking about our people, and we got to fight the white man and take America back and Canada and all that and all that traditional, all this kind of stuff, right? Or you see the music videos, but then you encounter them and you're like, this dickhead? Yeah. Well, and that's why I've lost. That's why I don't even jam on a lot of music anymore because I'm like, I don't want to fucking support this fucker.
I have a thing for me personally, like because I truly believe in our medicine, at least as a Cheyenne and a Blackfeet person. I believe our stuff. Like it's I've been fortunate enough to be proven wrong by our medicine, you know? So I've learned from that. And I have because of my respect for our medicine and because I believe in it so much, I have this thing personally that when I see somebody recording, if it's Instagram, Vine, because Vine was big then, Facebook, MySpace, or music videos, if you are smudging or you're burning cedar or you're showing some kind of like ceremony to let people know like I'm that kind of person. Like that, for me, that I'm just like, all right, I'm not going to fuck with you then because that's not what our medicine's about. That's not what we do this for. We don't do this so that people can believe, like, so people will listen to our music or buy our records. That shit has nothing to do, that doesn't belong here. Doesn't belong in video. It doesn't belong on the internet. I just don't believe in that. And I hope one day this interview doesn't bite me in the ass. Like 2 years down the road, I'm out there smudging in a video.
Oh, it will. Like because I know this for a fact because it's not like because I'm going to do anything vicious about it. I'm going to do almost no editing. I'm just going to put it together and make it look good. But I've said stuff that later becomes taken out of context, or my mind has changed because we age, we grow.
Yeah, you grow. You should.
Right? And your thoughts evolve, right? Either you go back to thinking a certain way, or you move forward and go thinking a different way, right? Because if you stay thinking the same thing, you probably didn't do no evolving, right?
Yeah.
So this will bite you in the ass. But I would always say, fuck it. Even if you said something in the past and you don't believe that now or whatever, you're like, oh, I'm never going to smudge in a music video. And then you find yourself smudging in a music video. Fuck it, you know?
I mean, I hope that that never happens because I truly believe that. I truly believe that right now, at this moment.
Yeah.
I truly believe, and I believed it then, that that kind of stuff just doesn't belong, because then it just feels like you're doing this for attention, and
Yeah.
I don't believe that. And it could be because Cheyennes are so secretive. It could be because Blackfeet are so private. Maybe it's just my culture. It's just the way that we are raised to do that kind of stuff out of eye shot and earshot. But you know, that argument could be made with powwow music, with everything. So
Yeah. And I see where you're coming from, because I believe the same way in the larger sense of things. I've gotten tired of people over the years. Not to sound like I hate women here, but I'm going to put women on blast again. Native women in bikinis or sexy clothing, wearing a headdress or wearing the chokers, and wearing native regalia that's supposed to be done. A lot of the stuff is supposed to be only used in a ceremony or in some kind of respectful manner. And then when you start putting tits and ass in it, it just cheapens it, and it takes away that thing that millions of people died for. And now you just make a mockery out of it so you can get some eyeballs, so you can get some money. So, stuff like that. And I also, for a long time, I've felt the same way about like song, like y'all know who we're, like just songs, not just Native American church stuff, but like traditional songs and singing,
right, yeah,
and recording it, and then somebody monetizing it. And so, but over the years, and maybe it's just because being an American, you give into commercialism and everything else, and you're like, all right. So my mind has changed a lot over the years. I agree with you and I disagree with you, because on one hand, I believe I like seeing people doing traditional stuff in video and stuff like that. As long as it's not the super sacred stuff. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because you know as well as I do that there are things that are really traditional, right? And they're supposed to. They're very, very. They're not made for promotion. They're not made for like being sold and stuff like that. And then there's other stuff I feel like is like, okay, I can kind of buy that. I mean, I get that. I mean, certain things, but I get what you're saying. I get what you're saying, and I love where your brain's at with it. But don't hold on to it. Someday you might just say, you know what, fuck it. I need to make a point of what I'm saying, and it's going to take me smudging or feathering or whatever else, right?
Yeah,
because right now you got drums in your music, powwow drums. Yeah. So somebody could easily say, you fucking hypocrite. You got fucking sacred powwow drums in there, right? And all that stuff. So we all make these little changes, these little things, right?
You're absolutely right. There's a context for sure. Like there are times that I've seen it in music videos where I'm like, I mean, it's the music video aspect for me, because music videos you're putting on, like you're using these videos kind of to like, well, it depends, but there's context where it's like more acceptable to me. But I just feel like for me personally, it's not something that I wish to do. It's not something that I hope to do, because like, to use your words, for me it cheapens it, because as Indian people, we know we all do that. So who's this for? Who are you showing this to? Because we all know that we do this. You know what I mean? So I don't know. There's that, but there are contexts where that is acceptable in my brain. I try not to be so close-minded and whatever, but
I know, especially as musicians and stuff, right? Because it was one of the reasons I started this podcast instead of doing the Native Entertainment podcast or anything like that, right? Because I debated on it for a long time. I was like, fuck, and I experimented with different types of podcast formats and ideas. Excuse me, I'm burping. But one of the things is that I love music, and I want to hear about other musicians, and I want to hear about ideas, and like even just this, hearing another person that thinks very similar to me in this aspect. It's refreshing, bro.
Well, good, man. I'm glad I could be refreshing. I hope. I mean, I really don't want to like sit on a fucking high horse. I don't like that kind of stuff either. Like,
fuck it, sit on the high horse.
Do what you. I can't ride a horse. I'm from the city. I can ride a motorcycle.
Yeah. I'm a terrible fucking res guy. Fucking horrible country boy. You gave me. I had a horse that I was fucking with it a couple years ago. It pushed me out of the fucking gate. I didn't know it was behind me. I was coming through the gate, and the horse snuck up behind me. Fucking quiet as hell. And he just took his long nose because I was turning around to close the gate, and he was right behind me. Kind of freaked me out because I didn't know anybody was behind me. Yeah. And then he just pushed me with his nose, and he shoved me out of the way. I was like, "What the fuck?" And then he started like bullying his way through the gate. I was like, trying to stop him, but he was like, "Nah, dude, I'm like 1,000 pounds heavier than you."
Yeah, right.
And he just pushed his way through it, and then so I was like, "Fuck!" And I went in there and I told my brother-in-law, like, "Hey, dude, your fucking horse got out." So he was still around. Yeah. So he was still like in a big fenced-in area, but he was just out there and I was like, "I'll go get him."
Yeah, dude, I've had to do that for sure. Yeah, back in Browning, my auntie's got mad horses, or used to have mad horses, and I've had to chase down those horses, step in a gopher hole, and end up like 4 feet in a ditch you didn't even know was there, and the horse.
No, I know. And then dogs. Yeah, fucking dogs. My dog. I had the horse. He was following me. I finally got up to him because he kept walking away from me, right? And I was like, "Come on, just come here, come here." I was trying to talk to him. and then so finally he was standing there, he was looking at me, and so I walked over to him, and I got him because he had the rein on and everything, right? Or had the what the fuck's that piece called? Yeah, and I got him, and so I took a few steps with him, and I was walking on the ground, and here come fucking dogs, rah 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 rah, out of nowhere. The horse freaks out, jerks his fucking head, rears out of the way, goes on my shoulder. It's been fucking with me to this day. Like even today, I was trying to do some pull-ups, and I got a pull-up bar in her, and I was like, "Fuck it, I'm gonna see if I can." And I hung there. I was like, "Oh, that hurts!"
Oh no.
Yeah, so I'm with you. I'm a terrible country boy.
Yeah, I was riding one of my auntie's horses once, and we're like, I'm not real comfortable on horses, like, because I didn't grow up around them. I grew up around guns and violence, ambulance, not horses. So like, I was riding him, and he was the younger. He's a stallion too, so he's like super proud of himself. And we're like riding just around the little corral, like this little fencing area. It wasn't even a corral; it was just this like kind of driveway area. And he starts going towards the gate for the open fence.
Oh shit!
I was like, no. And so I was like pulling on his reins, and he put his ears back to listen to me. But it wasn't like, "Hey, what are you saying?" It was like, "Oh, we're fucking. You ready for this?" I was like, "No, man, come on." And he started going towards the fence post, like he was gonna run.
Damn. He was getting aerodynamic.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I was like, "Oh, come on, dude!" And I was like, "I don't know how to stop this horse," and he does not care that I don't like this.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then he was just fucking with me because we got towards the gate, and he was like, "All right, I'm gonna go." And I was like, "Oh man, you just made me look like an idiot."
I know, and then the thing is too, like, because I went with my cousin. I'm not gonna say his name because he passed away, but with my cousin a long time ago, and he said, "Hey, dude, let's go hang out at my grandma's house on the res." And I was like, "All right." So we just went down to his grandma's house on the res, way out in the boonies, and when we were out there, they have 4-wheelers and all kind of shit, right? And horses and all kind of stuff. And he goes, "You want to ride a horse?" I said, "Nope." He goes, "Come on, let's go fucking ride some horses. Let's go into the canyon." I was like, fuck, all right. I don't know how to ride a fucking horse, dude.
Yeah.
And so I'm chubby now, but at the time then I was skinny, right? I've always been like a scrawny guy. And so he goes, I'll give you the old horse. And I was like, "Cool, all right, I can handle the old horse." Yeah. Give me the old horse. He said, "I'll take the younger one. He likes to run." And I was like, "Cool." So 2 things happened on this little trip. So he brought the 2 horses out, and he said, "Just introduce yourself to the horse." And so I was like, "All right." So I was like petting him on his nose and stuff, right? And I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, don't fucking break my legs." Stuff like that. And the horse was looking at me, and it just feels like when I'm looking at at the horse, a horse always looks at me like it feels like I'm gonna kick you real fucking hard. Yep. Like that, I always think like horses have a malicious nature about them, even though they're not even malicious animals, right?
Yeah.
But anyway, so I was talking to him. I was like, "Hey, dude, just don't break my legs. Please don't kick me off and break my back and don't buck me off." And I was talking to him. I was like, "Just be cool, just be cool."
Yeah.
So he was said, "Have you ever put the saddle on?" I was like, "No, I ain't doing shit with the horse, man." So he goes, "All right, well, watch me, and then you do it." So he's putting the horse on. So he put the saddle blanket on first, and so first we brushed the horse, right? And he goes, "We want to make sure there's no spurs or anything in the fur." So then we threw the blanket on, then we threw the saddle on, and the saddle, when he was doing it, looked really fucking simple. So on two sides there's that belt that comes down on the opposite side, right? So you have to reach under the fucking horse to grab the belt. It's a big fat belt, and then you buckle it, right? And then you have to put your hand under it so you give some space so you can tell how much space in there because you don't want it too tight. I was like, all right, I can do that. That shit was the scariest fucking thing, man. I don't know how the fuck people swim with sharks because I was just with the horse on land and that shit was fucking scary. The horse kept looking at me.
Yeah.
Like,
And
like I don't know what
you see his massive foot like 2 feet from your face, and you're like,
and they're like, it's like moving it around like that. And I was like, fuck this guy. And then so finally I got it. And then fucking tied it up, boom, boom, boom. And then so he's like, all right, just watch me when you get on. He was teaching me how to put my foot in the stirrup and then pop up, right? So he said the saddle is going to feel like it's going to slide off, but it's not. So he said, just grab the horn and you're going to grab the back of the saddle, but you're going to put your foot in it first and you got to turn it. So when you get on, it turns with you when you sit in, right? Easier said than done. But I finally got on the horse and I was like, fuck yeah, all right, it's cool. All right. So he said, here's a couple things. When you ride the horse, so what you're going to do is you don't want him to run. So he's giving me all these instructions, right? So he said, this is the saddle horn. You're going to take the reins, right? There's two reins. They're separated. He said, you're going to tie it. It's not a real big knot, but just like an easy, quick release knot. And then he said, you're going to, so that he doesn't run, you're going to take it and you're going to loop it around here. You just want him to trot. That's all you want him to do. Right? I said, yes, that's all I want him to do. Because he said, if he can lift his head up, he's going to fucking go. And he said, so if he starts going a little too fast for you, all you're going to do is pull back. You want his head to go down. So you can pull it down and he'll start slowing down. He might get a little, right? And you might feel like you're going to get bucked off, but he said, just pull it down. He said, don't pull it, don't yank it. The fucker's going to kick you off.
Then he'll throw you, yeah.
He'll throw you, yeah. So I was like, all right. I was like, oh, okay, cool. Fucking pull. Not too hard. Sit there. And then he said, you kind of got to stand almost a little bit because he said you're going to bust your nuts on the saddle. But he didn't tell me that until I had already been going down a little ways and I had busted my nuts on the saddle. But anyway, that's my stupid story of a horse.
Well, my mom grew up riding horses, and so did my dad. My dad grew up in Lame Deer, or Busby, which is part of the Cheyenne Res. But my mom grew up all over, and she rode horses because my grandpa was a Spanish guy, and he was a rodeo, like bull rider and all that stuff. So they always had horses. So my mom's Blackfeet and Spanish. My dad's Northern Cheyenne and guy.
You beat me to the punch. I was going to ask, but I was like, when do I ask? Because I'd like to know. Because I want to know who somebody is before I know what they are. Because it's less important to know what somebody is, and it's more important to know who somebody is. Right?
Yeah, I mean, I know I always have a lot of explaining to do because I got the eyes, but the skin, the skin gives it away. But yeah, so they both grew up riding horses, and so they always think it's funny that I'm like I love horses, but they just kind of like I didn't grow up around them. So I'm not super comfortable around them. And my mom's like, why are you so scared of horses? And I'm like, Mom, they stopped Superman. A horse paralyzed Superman. Like through.
Oh, that's what it was. Oh, yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
I thought he went skiing for some reason.
No, it was a horse. Threw him off and he snapped his neck. I was like, that was Superman, Mom. Like, I'm not,
yeah.
I'm not Superman, and so if a horse can do that to Superman, then.
Yeah. So when you were down at the at Standing Rock, I want to find out about like this moment that you had when you absolutely knew, like the aha moment. Because I can tell you right now, and I'll give you my example. I had an aha moment. So I created back in the day, early 2000s. I had no intention of making music, recording it the way I'm doing now. I had no intention of being an artist, etc. I just wanted to create a record label, bring in badass native entertainers. I just wanted a small handful of native entertainers, 3 or 4, something like that, right? And so I went up to Kickapoo Res because I had met this guy named Mac Fox, and I had the name Mac Fox in my head already, and I knew what he was going to sound like. I knew what he was going to look like. I wanted him to be a big dude with a gruff voice, and I had actually recorded a song about a year before I actually met this dude I named Mac Fox, and I was trying to do a gruff voice, but when I met this dude, fucking dude, it sounds like this. No, I'm not even doing a good job. And it's Kickapoo native dude, and he sent me a tape. I said, don't send me any tapes. I said, send me, like, I was trying to tell him how not to send me the music. Send me it on the CD so I can listen to it. Sends me a fucking tape. Sound like shit, but I could hear quality in there somewhere because it was just recorded shitty, right? And we ended up talking, working together. And I couldn't get money together. I just kept feeling like I was spinning my wheels. So he's a per cap native. So he's like, here, I'm going to buy the plane ticket. I was like, fuck yeah. What the fuck's per cap mean? And he's like, oh, my tribe, we get paid for being native. I was like, what the fuck? Let me transfer over. Goddamn.
Right. Yeah.
So, ended up going up there, spent 2 weeks up there. We were supposed to just record his music, and it was supposed to be just his. And his first album was supposed to be called Grand Entry. And I was like, oh, this is going to be a badass album. Long story short, 2 weeks later, we had an album. We called it Native Player Way. I ended up calling the group Tribal Familia. And I really wasn't stuck on that name, but I was trying to come up with something because I wanted to start promoting it, right? And then I had printed off a bunch of CDs, and at a print place, right, where they print on the CDs, a mass manufacturer. Spent a ton of money, and I was working construction at the time. And after printing all these CDs and shit, I was driving down the road, and I was like, fuck, man, I'm just not sold on that name. Why the fuck did I spend so much money on this shit, right? And then I was driving down the street, and I remember I looked over to my right-hand side. There was a CVS. This is what I'm talking about, the aha moment. It was a CVS. I'm driving down the road in Phoenix, and popped in my head. The word Gooderkind just popped in my head. You should name your group Gooderkind. Gooderkind is a phrase, because right when I heard it, I was like, fuck yeah, that's what I'm going to call my group. I got home. I fucking called my Mac Fox, and I was like, dude, this is what we're going to rename the group. And he's like, fuck yeah, dude, it's a badass name. What's it mean? I was like, fuck it. It means top notch, the best, top shelf. It's a phrase. And I gave him the way I told him, I said, Navajos always say it all the time. Shit, man, I want the Gooderkind, man. The Gooderkind, not that one. I want the Gooderkind.
Yeah.
Right? It comes from like just slang of not knowing how to speak English very good, res slang or res talk, right? Yeah. And so he's all like, that's fucking cool. Yeah, I want that. And fucking, so that's the aha moment that made me realize Gooderkind was going to be this name, and it stuck.
Yeah.
What was your aha moment?
There was a couple moments.
Okay.
I think there wasn't a single thing that happened that was like, this is where everything changed. But I mean, there was a couple things that I don't want recorded. I can tell you the story later, but I don't want it recorded. But one thing happened while I was at Standing Rock. One thing happened on my way to Standing Rock. There's a Bear Butte is the Cheyenne's most holy spot, where a lot of our culture and current traditions came from. Okay. And I had never been there. Didn't know what it looked like. I'd only heard stories because I'm from Portland, Oregon. So I've been to my res, and that's about as far east in this country that I've gone. Lame deer. So never been there. And I'd had a dream when I was younger about this spot, and some things were told to me. And on my way to Standing Rock, coming out of Sturgis, you pass right by Bear Butte. And like I said, I'd never seen it, didn't know what it looked like, never seen a picture of it. And I was coming around the corner, and I saw it in the distance. I was like, my body just went like cold. And went there, and stuff happened there. So that was part of it. That's one of the stories.
Damn it, I want to hear the story.
I know. I can tell you, but I just don't want it recorded.
Give me a tidbit. Give me something. Give me the Cliff Notes version of what happened. Can you? Something.
Sort of. I had a dream, and I had the dream when I was a lot younger, and the dream told me what I needed to do, and I did it, and things happened, And in the dream, it told me when I did these specific things, I would
Yeah.
see this specific thing, and that's when my life would begin. That's what I was told.
Yeah. Oh, that's
So
badass.
that's what I did. And then I went to Standing Rock, and then one of the mornings, just looking out at everything that I was seeing, another thing clicked, and it all, like, I was younger. I was in my 20s then, so I was in my early 20s. I was a lot angrier, and so a lot of this kind of came, sort of made sense to me out of anger. But then as I really stepped back from it and put it all together, I was like, you can be angry, sure. This could be meant out of anger, sure, but anger, it won't get you very far. So that was part of it, and then there was just like home life stuff, like just there was a lot of protests going on at the time, and we weren't being talked about the way other people were. Our protests would be
What?
happening.
Wait, you're talking about protests like the Black Lives Matter stuff versus the Standing Rock stuff, or are you talking about native protests for native stuff? I want to clarify because there has been a lot of Black Lives Matter type stuff happening over the years, but it just escalated into extreme violence
Yeah.
over the past 3 years.
Well, it was just protests in general. Like basically since Trump was elected, it's been so, since those years coming, like the last two Obama years and then coming into the Trump years, everything has been so polarizing. Like, so there was just a lot of protesting going on: environmental protesting, Black Lives Matter protesting, Indian protesting, indigenous rights protesting, trans rights protesting, gay rights protesting. Everybody's protesting, and all of
Yeah,
them
you're
are
right about that. Yeah,
all of them are on TV, all of them are in magazines, all of them are everywhere, and
right.
except for Indians. Standing Rock was there because Standing Rock was on TV and all that stuff because of Shailene Woodley and the Great White Buffalo and Kristen Wiig, like people being on TV, white people being on TV and saying, hey, this is something important. Wasn't enough that it was the biggest gathering of Native Americans in recorded history. That wasn't enough for everybody. It took the Great White Buffalo. It took Shailene Woodley. It took
Did you say Great White Ruffalo?
yeah, Mark Ruffalo.
Is that Mark Ruffalo? Okay, so talk me through this, because again, I really tried to just stay out of anything that had to do with a lot of shit. I reached a certain point in my life where I said, I'm fucking topped off on all of this noise that just is keeping me sidetracked from goals and ambitions. You know what I mean? It just reaches a point where it's like, I had enough. Fucking you deal with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and I don't watch a whole hell of a lot of state media, TV and stuff like that, news and all that kind of shit, right? So fill me in on this. And I really don't fucking spend too much time on the online.
Yeah. No, I mean, I just call him that just as a joke because.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because he was there and he was really vocal, and he got, in my opinion, he got a little like self-righteous, but that's just me. But
right.
so I just call him that because his name is Ruffalo. Sounds like buffalo.
Yeah.
And he's white.
Hey,
So,
I like it.
yeah. So so it just got frustrating for me because I was just like, all these protests are all over TV, and this is the biggest gathering of Indians ever, and or in recent recordings, and it's not anywhere until a white person says that it's worth something, it's worth hearing about. And meanwhile, like, all these people are getting sprayed with freezing cold water, getting beat to shit, getting thrown in prison for standing ground on their own land. Like, it's crazy. So then you have, like, I don't know, that was going on. And then in my home life, like I said, like at work, I worked with a bunch of cultures, a really multicultural place, which is super dope. Like, I learned so much, but a lot of them came from socialist countries. So they were just like, don't rock the boat. This is better. Like, you guys have it so good, blah, blah, blah. And then you would get people like, worked with Mexicans and Mexicans were always like shitting on me for being Indian and being white, and how are you white? How are you Indian if you're whiter than me? And I'm like, well, we're different people. And like, and then I don't know, there was just so much going on where I felt like everyone was trying to speak over Native Americans, and I was getting fucking tired of it. And that was a big part of it. Like, you don't speak for me. One, I'm Blackfeet, so there's there's a saying that Blackfeet people have, which is like, you don't speak for a Blackfeet. You don't speak over me. You don't talk for me. I know how to talk. I know when to talk. You don't need to do that for me. If I have something to say, you listen. That's all I'm asking. You don't have to do anything, but listen to me. Don't speak for me and don't speak over me. I'm quiet. I have a quiet voice. Like right now, talking to you, I'm yelling. I have a quiet voice because I don't need to be loud. Like my voice will be heard by who it needs to be heard by when it needs to be heard if you listen. That's why I'm quiet. So, yeah, I was just getting kind of tired of that, and getting kind of tired of the messages that were being pushed by some Native artists, and the messages that were being pushed by Rage Against the Machine and things like that.
Wait, what message in particular?
I don't know. I just think like if it's just a personal thing. It's why I do what I do. It's why I do what I do. I think.
But I want to know. I want to know. Let me into that world. What message was being pushed? This is very important because I'm a guy who listens and overanalyzes all kind of shit, and everybody's always telling me you're looking at that too deeply. And I'm like, You're just looking at the surface. You should be analyzing it. You should be analytical. You should be critical. Doesn't mean you have to be a judgmental fucker. People confuse being critical and analytical with being judgmental. It's a huge difference. Yeah. So if you're hearing a message that's not resonating with you, what is the message saying?
I don't know. I think like, because Rage Against the Machines talks a lot about Indian issues, and it comes from a lens that's not like really ours. I feel like it's easy to say, fuck the government, resist them. Like, sure. You can say that, but how do we implement that on a reservation? How do we implement that as a city Indian? Like, I say fuck the government, but I need IHS. Like, I feel that way, sure, but the government isn't fair. The government's never been fair. So if you say, which they are doing, but if you say fuck the government, we don't need you. Okay, you don't need us, then we're gonna get rid of IHS. We're gonna get rid of this. You don't need us. We're gonna get rid of this. We're going to get rid of this. You don't need us, remember? You know what I mean? So you have to be really like tactical with the way that you say things, or with the message that you push. And again, like with Rage Against the Machine, it doesn't feel like it's a message for us. It feels like it's a message for everyone but us. I don't know if I'm explaining that well.
No, I get what you're saying because and maybe I'm wrong, but let me see if I can break down my summarization of what you're saying, and you tell me if I understand you or not, because I do want to understand you. I think as an artist, I need to understand you because I'm going to be listening to your music. I'm going to be talking about you, and whoever watches this video, I think they want to understand and know what the fuck you're talking about, because there's too many people out there they become motivational speakers and they don't have a real message. They don't have a real sense of real direction, real past experience, real boots on the ground. So I have to understand you. It's important to me. It's the reason why I do this shit, because I love humanity. And at one point I was angry, young, pissed off, and fuck the government and all that kind of stuff, right? And I served in the military. I was in Army infantry, and I came out of that fucking thing pissed off at stuff. I wanted to burn my uniform, and I was like, fuck this. And I gave it to my mom, and I'm glad she saved it. And then a few years ago, she said, here's your uniform, son. I was like, oh shit. And I said, what are you doing with it? And I had totally just taken that chunk of my memory and I just threw it away. I said, I don't want nothing to do with any of that. So I understand because I had a dilemma going into the military. I was like, fuck, am I selling out by joining the military? Am I giving in to the same forces that eradicated majority of my people? Yeah. What am I doing? People can say, oh, that's not important. You just go do what you need to do. But when you actually give a flying fuck, you sit and you think and you contemplate and you pray about it. And at the time, I had to make decisions and choices. And so you're talking about people who are sending a message of, for example, in your example, you're saying there's like Rage Against the Machine and maybe some other Native artists that you don't want to name. They're saying, fuck the government, right? They might not be saying those exact words, but their message is conveying that sense of fuck the government and all of that, right? And if you're saying if we are true to our word, then we should abandon anything that the government is handing out to us, right? Because we have to then be able to say, okay, well, fuck the government. Oh, wait, but don't take the IHS. I need that. I got to get my teeth work done. Whoa. Is that what you're saying?
No,
something to that aspect? No.
What I'm saying is, with somebody who has the reach that Rage Against the Machine has,
okay,
they're not speaking at this from an Indian's point of view. They're speaking at this from their point of view, whatever they are.
Yeah.
So they're speaking on behalf of us to their audience. And like I said, I'm Blackfeet. You don't speak for me. I say what I know how to talk. So you're saying to your audience, and your audience is government officials, that Native Americans feel this way. We feel fuck the government. And probably most of us do. But for a lot of different reasons, it's not so simple. And Rage Against the Machine tends to try, or not just them, but other people speaking on behalf of Native Americans who aren't Indian, have a way of simplifying everything. It's not that simple. So if you're speaking for us because you won't hand us the microphone and let us speak for ourselves on your stages, you won't let us play the festivals you're playing, but you'll speak for us on our behalf, a message that you think we want to give, which is fuck the government, then the government is going to be like, okay, yeah, well then take IHS. You want to be sovereign? Oh, okay, then no water. You want to be sovereign? No trash. You want to be sovereign? No blah, blah, blah. You want to be sovereign? You know what I mean? Like, then they start, it's a fucking game that they play with us. Like, we're being played with by other people who are using our struggle and our experiences and our stories to better themselves and to further reach a bigger audience or to die with a cool badge on their body to be like, oh yeah, I spoke up for the Native American. I spoke up for Indian. You know, like it's that kind of thing. And then for Indian artists, this is just a personal thing. Like there's people should make the art that they want to make. Singers should sing the songs that they want to sing. Art is subjective, and everyone should be free to do what they want to do. I don't want to use my short time on this planet to sing about a broken heart. And I have a voice and have an opportunity to use my music as a way to educate or to just bring light and speak about things that aren't often spoken about. I don't want to talk about slinging drugs and being an alcoholic or taking drugs or I'm so heartbroken over this girl. Like, we have the opportunity. If you have an audience, you have the opportunity to give them something of, I don't know, of more substance. And I just wasn't hearing that or finding that, so I decided to do it. But that's I'm not trying to shit talk or like I'm not trying to like downplay what anybody else is doing. You should be able to express what you want to express, how you want to express it. I truly believe that. And I just didn't hear what I wanted to hear. I wasn't seeing what I wanted to see. I don't see half-breeds on TV. I don't see Plains Indians really on TV. Like, I just want to represent what I'm not seeing. That's what I'm doing. So I'm not trying to. I don't believe in pulling someone down so that I can stand taller. So I'm really not trying to do that. It's just that I wasn't hearing what I wanted to hear. I wasn't seeing what I wanted. I did.
When you were at Standing Rock, that was a very pivotal point in your life, correct?
Yeah.
And it was at that time when you, lack of better words, let's say you got your aha moment, you got your, this is what I'm going to do. That's when it was affirmed for you. You were like, this is it. This is what I have to do. And you knew it was music.
Well, music has always been music for me. I mean, my life has always been music. I've always been playing in bands. There was a time there where I didn't play music because I was in a band with some people, with one of my brothers, and I quit that band, and it put a strain on our relationship as brothers. And it's cool now, but it put a strain on my relationship with music. I just didn't feel like making music for a while. And
was it because of the kind of music you were making in that band, or what do you think kept you?
No, it was like internal stuff,
family stuff.
Yeah, but
Okay.
I just didn't want to make music because I don't know, like it just, as a musician, like I heard you talk about this in another podcast, there's a lot of ups and downs, and there are days and experiences and times where it's like, why am I doing this? Why am I wasting my time? Nobody cares. Nobody hears what I want to. Nobody cares what I want to say. They don't like what I'm doing. Like, I'm putting so much of my time and effort into this, and nobody gives a shit. Nobody's there. And I feel like any artist, well, most artists, I feel like any kind of art form, most artists can agree that when no one gives a shit about your art, it kind of hurts. Because you're expressing yourself. But then there are artists who just do art because that's what they do. You know, like they could care less if somebody likes their art or not. And I'm not one of those artists. I wish I was. But
even with that, I disagree with that sentiment. I hear what you're saying, but even then, most artists so like artists like you and I, we make music. I don't know what other things you do. I want to get into that, and I don't know how long you got today, so you tell me when it's time to wrap it up. But I draw, I animate stuff, I do characterizations, I do stupid voice narrations, I do all kind of goofy shit, the goofiest shit you can think of. I'm the best guy. If you're stoned, you want to be around me because I'm fucking hilarious. I just do dumbass shit. I'll run around the house in fucking my underwear and act like I'm playing air guitar and shit, just do dumb. and it's that dumbass creativity that like I'll have like, oh shit, I'm gonna fucking record that, and I'll go and record something, and I'll grab my phone if I'm somewhere, and I'm like, oh, and I'll make a note, an audio note, and I'll get back, and a lot of those things I never listen to again, but sometimes I go back and I listen to them. Those are things that come from in here that other artists don't get. There's a lot of artists that I know, that I'm pretty sure you know, where they make stuff, and it's not coming from the heart and soul. It's just they're replicating something they've seen before, and they gotta sell it. For example, silversmithing. A lot of silversmiths that I've met are just making the thing that they know is going to sell to the trading post, right? And it sounds fucked up to say it, and a lot of people can say, you shouldn't be saying that kind of stuff, right? But that's the truth of it. There's a lot of people I've met throughout my years who make this badass jewelry, and I'm like, fuck, and that's awesome, right? And they're like, yeah, this is the one that the trading post guy, he ordered 5 of these or some shit, right? They make it because, and if you didn't buy their shit, guarantee you they're not gonna get heartbroken that you didn't enjoy their stuff. They're gonna be heartbroken because they didn't have the money to feed. Music that you and I make is a little bit different. I think this is just my personal opinion, because we suffer for the music. I don't know how many times I'll do a take on something. Somebody else that might be like, dude, that was good 4 hours ago.
Yeah,
I know, but I'm trying to get this little tweak in my voice and this, and because for me, I love singing, I love rapping, I love harmonizing. I got a guitar. I actually have 3 guitars. I got 2 of them behind me, and I'm planning on buying another one this year, and I'm planning on buying some more equipment, and I plan on building myself a studio in the back of my house, and so I can do all the stuff that I do, so that hopefully when I can have artists come over, we can jam out and be able to say, hey, look, let's fucking jam out. Let's just have some fun, drink some beers, fucking have some fun, and burn some steak in the back and tell lies to each other and shit, like people are supposed to do. Guys are supposed to hang out and do shit, right? And so there's people like you and me. It hurts when somebody doesn't buy your shit, stream your stuff, love your shit. They don't show you the affection that you're looking for. Because, dude, when I'm watching this music video of DGAF, right? And for those of you guys listening, I'm talking about the official music video for DGAF. Tell them what it stands for. DGAF.
Don't give a fuck.
That fucking caught my attention right there. I love when natives fucking use cuss words. And this song in particular is fucking badass, because now if I didn't like this song, you would probably get hurt if I gave you a review on the song and I said, I don't really care for your song, dude. I don't know why you gotta be so aggressive. I don't know why you gotta, it's cultural appropriation when you use rapping because black people created that. Now you're culturally appropriating it. And if I just go down this negative road of nonsense bullshit, you're going to get your soul's going to have a little crack in it. You can be like, fuck this Tito guy. What the fuck's he know about music? Right? Because it hurts. Or if I just ignored it, you ever play a song that you worked your ass off and you played it for somebody like, hey, check this out. And you're like, look, and people are like, cool. They're like, cool. Yeah. Hey, actually, I want to listen to this other song. Right? Yeah. So I get where you're coming from. I get what you're saying. We might be on different sides of the road on this, but I mean, I think we're going the same direction.
Yeah. You think I'm rapping into gaff?
I do. It sounds like fucking rapping to me. Because here's how I consider rapping. There's a lot of various aspects to what I consider rapping, flowing, and all that kind of stuff, right? Because you're talking, right? Mm-hmm. And if you're talking is actually the original, like when you're talking in a rhythmic manner, that was the original, that's the etymology of the word rapping is to talk in a rhythm, and that kind of thing. I'm fucking up the actual definition, but that's what it is. And so that's what it is. And so that's what you're doing right there. And you're talking about something in a rhythm, in a pattern, right? And then when those fucking power drums come, fuck, dude, I want to jump up and fucking mosh. And I swear there's a scene, correct me if I'm wrong, there's a scene in this video. It looks like the Jingle Dress girls are moshing.
No.
It looked like they're moshing. I was like, oh, that's fucking badass.
No. I kept that all separate.
Okay.
I didn't want those girls to bend up their bells.
Yeah. I was like, that's some badass shit. Yeah. A long time ago, I had this idea. Maybe you can implement it into one of your videos because I was doing a lot of hip hop rap related stuff back in the day, right? And I always wanted to have this powwow beat like kicking in, right? And then have lowriders by fucking some teachers. I see people breakdancing in the regalia and stuff like that, just like doing some cool shit. And I'm pretty sure somebody has that out now. But I mean, back in the day, I've always wanted to see that. And I guarantee you, it's going to be a Canadian artist that's going to come up with it because they get a lot of funding from the government over there. It's fucking so. But I would love to see you do some shit like that because that shit would be that would fit right in with this fucking this. I keep pointing this direction because I got a monitor sitting over here. I'm looking at on the computer over here. But I would love to fucking see that because, dude, the imagery of this shit is fucking. Look, see, we're doing it right now. I'm praising your music. You feel fucking great.
I know you're like I did that. You're telling me all this cool stuff, and I was like. So you think I'm rapping?
Yeah. You see how easy it is just to be like get turned off by something, right? But so I think we're seeing this understanding the same thing in here because it is a mutual. It's an emotional export, right? Yeah.
It's hard, and when somebody, I just know that I have definitely met artists who are like, I don't give a fuck. Like I make what I want to make. People don't like it. It doesn't stop me. I have to get this out. And I'm the same way. I do have to get this out, but it's in the sense that like if I get this out and you're like, I don't like that, then I'm like, oh, that hurts because this is everything I had to say, and you're telling me how I feel and what I have to say. You don't really care about,
Yeah.
But
I got a lot of music that I just like. Most of my music nowadays, because I've reached that point in my life where I'm like, fuck it, I'm just gonna make some crazy ass shit. And I'm never getting famous. I'm never becoming fucking super rich doing this shit.
Right.
And nobody's paying attention anyway. So who fucking cares, right? Who cares?
Yeah.
I'm gonna make me some crazy ass videos with animation and fucking dudes running around with beat it dicks and shit. I haven't yet, but I'm just saying, just for the fuck of it, right? Just for the hell of it. And if somebody says you shouldn't do that, and I was like, you should have paid attention years ago then.
Yeah.
But I get what you're saying. So let's jump ahead then, because you had an epiphany moment. That's the word I was looking for. An epiphany moment when you're at Standing Rock. That was a very important part of your life. It helped bring about this idea and work through this non-musical moment that you were kind of stuck in for a while. And how long after you came back from Standing Rock did you say I got to make music again?
It was probably like that summer, so maybe a few months went by.
Okay.
And then I started working on a bunch of stuff. Like, there was just, actually now that I'm thinking about it, a really big part of this was something that motivated me was I got in a motorcycle accident and was like it was a hit and run, so the person just left me there.
Dang.
Yeah, so that kind of put a fire like in me that was just like people don't
This
give
is
a
after
shit.
Standing Rock. This is after Standing Rock.
This is before
Standing Rock.
Standing Rock, so that put it like I was dealing with a lot from that. Like it was
What happened to you?
luckily I got away with okay. Like I just have crazy road rash on my knee, nerve damage on my knee and my shoulder, which is really lucky to be hit at the speed I was going.
How
But
fast were you going?
I was going highway speeds for legal reasons.
You go ahead and tell me. Don't
No,
you can't prosecute.
the highway speed up here is I think where I was 55, so I was probably going about 60, and
Okay.
I was hit and just hit the road.
They hit you sideways in the back, or
They
what?
hit my front tire.
Oh, they backed up, or what?
No, they were. I don't know if they didn't see me or what because they ran away. But I was looking over my shoulder to like get into the next lane, and I look back and there's a car taking my front wheel out. So they just hit me like this, and I
Jeez.
flipped over, hit the ground. Like never heard myself scream the way I screamed. Like it's just like embedded in my memory. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that happened. So that kind of put me in a weird place. And then the Standing Rock thing happened. And then I came back from Standing Rock. I think it was after Standing Rock. And I got beat up by a cop. And that really, if I wasn't going to make the type of stuff that I was doing, that really pushed me to just be like, you know what? This is a cop pulled his gun on me, fucked me up and pulled his gun, and I thought I was gonna die. I got a motorcycle accident, thought I was gonna die. Went to Standing Rock. I have a lot to say. I've seen a lot, and I have a lot to say. But I think at that time, I was more bent on the idea of being angry, and anger is what was motivating me. And I think that's probably why my computers kept crashing. And the other side, if that's really what it was like this isn't the way to do it. This isn't why we're giving you all this motivation and all these gifts. It's not about anger. You can be angry. It's okay to be angry, but anger shouldn't motivate. And I really hope that that makes it. I hope people have listened this far into the interview because I feel like I've been talking a lot of shit and I'm not trying to.
No.
I like the main message is like I really do believe in supporting each other. I really do believe in being here for each other as artists, as punk rock. Like punk rock's about unity, despite how it's implemented. It's what it's about. Powwow is about unity. Indian culture is about unity. 1876 is about unity, and I truly 100% believe that. And as a Northern Cheyenne, and as a Blackfeet person, and as just the family that I come from, if I am not seeing what I want to see, I become that. If I want something and I can't find it, I do it, you know? So there's no, I don't mean to be, I feel like this interview has been super negative. I'm sorry,
No.
man. I'm not trying to.
No. It's you're doing fine. You're speaking from the heart, bro. And that's what I want. And just to harp on my old days doing the Native Entertainment Magazine stuff, whenever I brought people in to watch, to do a video interview or something, like I'd be outside talking to, or before the camera starts, I'll say, right, talking to them, and we'll talk just like this. And I'll say, yes, this is what I want to do. It's more of a conversation and less of an interview. I just want this, because people need to hear this, what you're saying. And then you sit down and you press record, and all of a sudden they become, oh, I do this for the kids. And I say this a lot because I get annoyed with it. I get annoyed with people switching their personality, Yeah. And I believe that we're looking for legitimacy as a society. We're not finding it in our government. We're not finding it in social media. We want it as Native people. I think that I'm just speaking for me. I can't speak for all Native people because a lot of people won't say this shit on the record. I don't give a fuck. I'm saying it. I think a lot of times we're tired of seeing the fake bullshit. We're tired of seeing, because realistically, I don't think people really essentially, deep down, I don't think people really care if you're half native or I'm half native or something, right? I think what they want is, based on my experience and boots on the ground over the years, I think what most people want is to hear somebody saying it the way it should be said, the words coming at your mouth without having to censor yourself all the fucking time. And I shouldn't say that. I'm native. I shouldn't say that kind of thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I think people just want to fucking get to know it because our story isn't being told. That's one of the reasons why I do this shit, because our story has to be told. And if we're lying to each other, then the fucking history becomes a lie. And then so many years down the road turns around and they say, hey, there was a dude and his name was Gabe and he was in a band called 1876 and fucking he had all these badass albums and fucking music, but he was, and they'll tell the lies that you told me or somebody else. And so why not just fucking tell the truth? And so one day somebody can turn around and they can say, dude, there was a warrior named Pontiac. Dude, there was a fucking artist named fucking 1876. There was a fucking right? They go down the fucking list and they can talk about these things legitimately, just like the Sumerian cuneiforms. There's a record of history.
Yeah.
So you're not being negative at all.
Well, I hope. I appreciate that. I want other artists to understand, like, I'm not out here to tear people down. Like, I want to support how I can support, and if I don't support you, there's a reason. Basically.
Right.
But
nothing wrong with it.
Yeah. But yeah, I think it's that way in punk rock too, man. Like one of my favorite punk rock bands of all time, like Anti-Flag, they just had a bunch of like allegations come out about their lead singer, and it was so like hurtful to me because growing up as a kid, like they were so influential to me.
What was the allegations?
That a couple women came out. One woman went on a podcast and talked about the lead singer. Now, and I think it's a stupid pun. I can't think of his name. Justin, Justin Sane. She went on a podcast and talked about him raping her, and then like before that, other girls had went on blogs and were saying like, hey, Justin Sane, like, is it cool? When are people going to talk about this? And I never knew any of that. And then I heard about it from Instagram because I follow Anti-Flag and I follow the members, and they just like deleted all of their social medias all at once, like a nuclear bomb, gone. And so then it left a big empty space, and everybody starts talking about these allegations. And I listened to the podcast, heard the story, and I mean, it's all alleged, you know. It is what it is. But it was hurtful.
I'm looking at Rolling Stone right now, and there's an article by John Blistein. Anti-Flag addresses sexual assault allegations after abrupt breakup. This is July 26, 2023. So let me address that real quick. You had just heard allegations, and your favorite band, you just deleted them.
No, I didn't delete them. They deleted. They
deleted.
They deleted all their social media and their Patreon.
Oh. Yeah,
their Patreon said like basically like we're breaking up, and they're in the middle of a tour. They were coming to Portland. Yeah. So I was like, what? Why? And then that got around, and people were like, oh yeah, because there's this podcast that happened, and this chick said that Justin raped her and all this stuff. And yeah. So just that in general is like
all right, because I was gonna say that's pretty fucked up of you if you just fucking as a fan you just dropped them like that.
No,
okay, thanks for clarifying that.
Yeah, they deleted.
Because we live in a day and age where people just get an allegation about something and they just fucking drop people, and I think that's kind of wrong. I think it's absolutely wrong. Yeah. I think we should listen to the facts first, facts over emotions. I'd rather deal in facts rather than emotions, because everybody can get heated, everybody can say something, but it's the facts that you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt, right? That's where I live in this world now where I'm just trying to figure out the reality versus the matrix, because there's too much false news floating around. But I'm going to keep an eye on this, and I'm going to see how this turns out. Dang, that's your favorite band, so hopefully none of this shit is real, you know?
Well, they were really influential on me and my global view, because I hadn't heard a band like them that were so like they really hit it big during the Bush era and during everybody waving American flags and joining the military and we need to stop the evildoers in the Middle East. And I was all my family are veterans, and so like I would be sweating with all these veterans. We're talking about like the military is the way to be, like that's how you become a man, that's how you become a warrior, all that stuff. And I was kind of starting to believe it. And then watching all this evildoer shit and having like the military come into my school and make all these commercials that made you look like a Power Ranger and made you look like a hero. You're gonna come back and everyone's gonna be clapping for you everywhere you go. Like I was starting to believe all that stuff, but something didn't feel right in my soul because I had the same thoughts that you had. Like why would I go fight for this flag who we raised it above our heads at Sand Creek. We raised that flag above our heads to stop them, to say, hey, we're friends, we're friends. And they still fucking slaughtered us. My family, not some story I heard, my blood was shed at Sand Creek. And we had a flag up saying, we're friends, stop. And they didn't stop. So why would I go defend this flag? Why would I go fight? I had those thoughts while veterans, Cheyenne veterans, are telling me this is how you become a warrior. This is how you become a man. You go fight. You go defend your country. So I had all these weird thoughts, and then here comes Anti-Flag, a punk band called Anti-Flag, big fucking mohawks, like, and they had like if you listen to them and you listen to my band, you'll go, oh, there it is. That's where that's coming from. Because their sound, I liked it so much. They use full chords. They use like upstrokes. They do cool little like minor fifth, like pentatonic little guitar leads and stuff like that. So their global view of them saying like you don't have to die for your flag. Like there's a song called there's a song that goes gonna die, gonna die, gonna die for your government, die for your government. That shit. I was like, whoa. Like you can just say that. You can just say like fuck that in this era where everyone's waving American flags, you know? So that was really intriguing to me. It was hard at first for me to really get into it because they're like in my head at the time, they're a bunch of white boys from the East Coast. Like, how do I identify with them? How am I supposed to see their view? But then they're super like, they're really vocal about violence towards women and me being Indian, me being Cheyenne and Blackfeet, and the way I was raised, especially with Blackfeet. If you have a Blackfeet mother, there's nothing in the world that scares you like a Blackfeet mother. Like nothing in the world can scare you. Got a Blackfeet. But we were raised to respect our women, and we're raised to respect their voices. To not speak over them. They contribute. You know, like Cheyennes believe too that the powers that we have as men is useless if we don't have the balance of women, and the power that women have is useless if they don't have the balance of men. We need each other. There's not one above the other. We need each other. That being said, we are what is it, like patriarch? the Cheyenne are. The Blackfeet are more matriarchal. We really believe, like the Blackfeet really believe in the power of their women and respecting what they have to say. They believe in the practice. They practice it, I'd say, in my experience, more than Cheyenne side does. They both do respect the voice of women. So hearing a bunch of white boys from the East Coast with big fucking mohawks and loud guitars saying the same shit, saying women deserve to have a voice, women deserve to be heard, they deserve for us to listen. You need to shut the fuck up and hear what they have to say. Empathize. Use everything you can in your body to feel what they're feeling, to hear what they're saying. And I kind of I would hear that message and be like, well, that's like Indians. We say the same thing about our women. Not only that, but that's all we're asking for. Hear us. Empathize with us. Hear what we're saying. Identify yourself in us. We look different, but you can identify yourself in me, you know? So to hear that, to be so swept up under Anti-Flag and to really fuck with them, and then to hear that kind of stuff, And to hear the woman's story, because I listened to the podcast and heard her story, is hurtful because the women I all of our EPs have women who have changed my life. My mom, my cousin, and my wife. All of our EPs, those are all the women who have changed my life. I truly believe in their power. I truly believe in their connection to the other side that they were born with. And just in general, our history as my family and our history as Indian people, as Plains Indian, what white men have done to our women, what men have done to our women in general. It hurts to hear that from a band that I respected and that I love, that I was influenced by. It hurts to hear that allegedly her story, it was fucking awful. Hearing that story is so hard. I don't know what else to say about it because it's all alleged.
Mm-hmm.
You take what you can from it.
But I mean, that's the influence, right? That the influence of a band had an influence on you, and it's going to definitely have an emotional effect on you because you ingested their music and brainwashed yourself with it. Because that's what we do with the music, right? Music is that form of brainwashing because it's kind of like putting yourself in an echo chamber with nice lullabies.
Yeah.
Right. Like I like listening to stuff that I resonate with. Like sometimes when I'm working outside and I'm doing some woodwork, I'll put on some guttural music. I'll put on something like Amon Amarth. I'll put on some death metal kind of stuff where I don't really have to listen to lyrics. There's just repetitive noise, beats, songs, grinding, and I can just kind of zone out. It's putting us in it's a programmable state, right? And that's what music does to us. And so when you were already feeling something, feeling it. And then you heard all it needed was just the right kind of guitar tone, right type of drum pattern, right kind of angry voice, right? Boom! Powder keg blew up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so now, I mean, I'd feel the same way. I grew up with fucking Metallica. They've always been like one of my most longtime favorite fucking bands. And I fell out of love with them years ago. I would always keep track of their music whenever they came out with something. But just until recently, when they came out with 72 Seasons, I've been listening to that shit on repeat. Goddamn thing is, but I would feel just as heartbroken and just as like, oh my God, this is a dilemma now. If something like this came out with James or Kirk or Lars or whoever, you know what I mean? And I just, it has an effect on you because you're like, damn it, do I listen to this now?
Yeah.
What does it mean to me now? What does it say about me if I support this? The same thing with Michael Jackson. People already know that it's been proven over and over and over and disproven over and over that he molested kids. And he did some dirty, nasty shit with kids. R. Kelly, fucking, I'll hear about his fucking nasty ass. But people still have this debate on whether or not should I listen to the music or not. Fuck, I don't know. It's up to you.
Art or the artist.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's the debate, art or the artist. So that's your debate, right? You're having it internally. You're like, fuck, do I jam on this song? What's your favorite song?
Press Corps is my favorite song.
Right? Do you jam on it or not?
That's I can't. Right? I can't right now. Like I every time I hear that guy's voice, I think of that woman's story. And if it's true or not true, I can't not think of that story, and I can't not relate it to my life, and I can't not relate it to the people in my life.
Right.
So it's That's the problem. Like you can't not relate it to the people in your life, to your own life.
Well, it goes back to what you were talking about earlier when you were saying that you were seeing other native artists out there, somebody who are more famous, and you said that seeing the way their mannerisms in a certain geographic location, and you were thinking, if I'm the same as them and they're the same as me, tribally, right? Then ethnically, then, and if they're acting like that, I'm acting like this. It ruined your view of them, right?
Yeah.
Because up until that point, I'm pretty sure you were probably like, oh shit, right when you walked up or something, you're probably like, oh, that's so and so. I'm gonna go fucking say hi or some shit. Then you saw mannerisms, heard speech patterns, heard action or saw actions, and you're like, I'm good.
Yeah,
it ruined it.
It did, yeah. I think that's the big change that's happened from that age to where I am now. Was then I was really, again, it was a lot of things were out of anger. I was just fuck, like, no, that's wrong. Like, why are so many? Why is this person getting famous? How come everybody doesn't see this? Why doesn't everybody
Mm-hmm.
know this? And now, at the age that I am now, like, I'm just like, not for me. You know, like when I see
Yeah.
somebody who's like that, I'm just like, oh, okay, well, not for me. That's okay.
Yeah.
You want to, like, if they're getting famous and whatever, and they stay famous, it's like, okay, well, cool, man, not for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. Yeah, yeah, I'm the same way. I don't hang out with very many people at all because I'm always just like, I don't really want to get involved in this, this, and this, and that's what's gonna happen if I hang out with this dude. If I go to this place, this shit and this, it's less stressful. I'll just stay at home, strum my guitar, drink my
Right.
beer, fucking play with my dogs, fucking make some music, watch TV, fucking do anything else but do that nonsense.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
You can keep doing it. That's fine. Like,
yeah,
I'm not
yeah.
gonna shit. Like, you do what you want to do. I'm not for me.
So let's talk about music. I just want to touch base on your I went to discography on your website, which is 1876band.com,
Yes.
and you're talking about the important roles women have played in your life.
Yeah.
You cut out. All I see is the number one.
What's up?
All I see is the number one. Your camera went out.
I don't know. I see myself. I see you too.
Huh. All right. I guess we'll keep going. That's what I see in the screen. So maybe that's the software's way of saying, all right, guys.
Yeah, it's time to stop.
So real quick, before we cut out here real quick, you have 6 albums I'm seeing here. Are these full albums? Because I haven't gone through the whole labyrinth of music here. Because I see Powwow Punk Rock 3, I see Powwow Punk Rock 2, and then I see Powwow Punk Rock. It's not 1, but it says 1. I mean, it's just, it doesn't say anything, so I'm assuming it's number 1. And then you also got Long Live the Chief, Tobacco Island, and 1876 with your Diamond X.
Yeah, Morningstar.
Morningstar. Oh, that's the symbol you're talking about. I knew I saw somewhere. Yeah.
Yeah. So they're just EPs. Powwow Punk Rock 1, 2, and 3 are just EPs. The first EP isn't called 1 because I didn't know there was going to be more. I put it out, and then I put the next one out on my own. And, people kept wanting more, so I kept putting them out. But the other ones are just singles. Long Live the Chief is a cover of a Jadena song. It's a remix of a Jadena song. Tobacco Island is a full-on cover of Flogging Molly, which, like, aside from Anti-Flag, Flogging Molly is probably my biggest influence as well.
I got to check that out because Flogging Molly is a pretty cool band, and they're like, every time I would jam on them, and like a song would come out like at a bar or something, right? And like it just made for fun drinking.
Yeah, they're a party band, like party. Yeah. They're not party in a way like, like, but it makes you want to like dance. It makes you want to dance and like
and chant and
it's Irish. It's Irish, so like you want to sing along with them.
It's drinking music turned to punk rock music, and these guys. So I gotta jam on that.
Yeah. That's my favorite Flogging Molly song. Like, and it's like the song that influenced me to kind of do what I'm doing. Like they talk about their history of Tobacco Island, which is it's Barbados. So they're telling the story about being shipped from Ireland, being bought and sold by Cromwell, who's like a government appointed person from the king, who came and took over Ireland and was like, you guys are all part of the UK now. Irish people are like nobodies, so they enslaved them and sent them to Barbados to grow sugarcane and cut sugarcane for the kingdom. So I'm despite my red hair, I'm not Irish, just so you know. But so the song is just telling the history, and it's telling it in a way that's not like it's not necessarily pointing fingers. It's not necessarily saying like feel bad for me. It's just stating the facts and talking about saying it from their experience, or saying it from the historical experience, because obviously none of them were there for that. But that's kind of like, it's something that I go back to if I start writing something that's a little too like, this is your fault and you owe me and blah, blah, blah. I'm like, that nobody wants to hear that. That won't go far. Enough people will hear it that it probably will feel right, but it's not going to be heard far, you know.
Right.
So I go back to that song a lot to try and recenter myself of how I want to deliver my message. I still feel that way, but how my mom always tells me to say your message. Is your message, or is it that what you're trying to say? Just in life, my mom would tell me this. What you're trying to say, is it something you want to say or something you want to be heard? You know. So
I like that.
If it's something you want to say it how you want to say it. But if it's something that you want to be heard, you have to kind of think about how you say it. What's an easy way for this message? So,
that's a really cool way. That's a really cool way to think about that.
That's what I'm saying, man. You got to listen to women. They know. They have a connection. They were given the connection to the other side for a reason, because they know how. They know how to. Anyway, so yeah, so it's a song I go back to, and then "One Time Coming" is just a story that happened here in Portland about a racist dude and me getting in a fight, and it's embellished a little bit because the police did come, but I don't know if they were coming for me. But I bounced anyway. I broke out. And in the end of the song, like, I get shot, but I'm here.
Is there a video on it?
No.
Mm-mm.
I wish.
Actually, I want to talk about two things, and I'll let you get on your way. Two things. One, I want to talk about you have a music video. It's the first one I saw, or one of the first ones anyway. It's the one where you had like the Custer Terminator and
oh yeah,
guys.
One time.
I like that a lot. But I was really confused, bro, and I'm going to be honest with you here. This is going to sound like a fucked up thing to say, but I'm going to say it anyway. You're a band of natives battling these white guys who are cyborgs or whatever, right? Terminators. And it confused the fuck out of me, though, because your drummer looks straight up white. Is he white?
Yeah, he is.
Okay. And how does he feel? I didn't see, in this day and age, and I don't want to censor myself. So I'm like, I got to say it. You know, I got to know because it drives me nuts if I don't know. How does he feel about that whole aspect there, like killing the evil white man? Because you and I know not every white man is evil, right? You said you're half white. So, I mean, your dad, pretty sure he wasn't evil. I mean, I could be wrong. I don't fucking know.
Oh, my dad's Cheyenne. He didn't know his dad.
But you know what I mean, right? Because you're
yeah.
And so are we just pushing the agenda of the evil white man by having videos like that? Tell me your aspect. Tell me your point of view on that video, because I really want to know. Because when I was watching it, I actually was taken back. I was like, this is fun. This is creative. But I don't know. Pushing the agenda of the evil white man.
Yeah, I feel that. Yeah, there was well, first of all, Mark is my best friend. I've known him my whole life. I knew 3 weeks of my. He's the drummer. Mark is the drummer. I knew 3 weeks of my life. I took 3 weeks on this planet without Mark, and then he was.
You guys were...
Our moms were friends. Our families were friends.
No
and
shit.
We're like, we're just a couple weeks. We're a few weeks apart. So we're basically brothers. So,
that's cool.
Yeah, every life thing we've ever gone through, we went through together. We were in punk bands growing up. Like, he sweat with us. He's been to ceremonies that some Indians have never seen. He's been there because he is my family. And vice versa. I'm his family. His parents take care of me like I'm one of their own. And
so he sees it like you then. So for him to be in that video, it's not like an insulting thing. It's just like, okay, I get your perspective. Yeah, I'll go with this.
And also, like, we understand, like, it's not simple. And this country is not simple. If in this country, what him and I have both experienced in our lives, in this country, if you're poor, you're the same color. There's opportunities for white people to get out. But if you're a poor white person, the government doesn't give a shit about you. They want you to join the military the same way they want me to join the military, the same way they want the poor black kid, the poor Mexican, the poor Asian. They want us to all join their fucking military because we're nothing, because we're poor. We don't give them anything in their mind. And that's how we're treated. Mark and I were in the same commodity line. What's different about us? We're getting the same food from the same place in the same neighborhood. You know, what's different? Our cultures are different, but about it. And the way that this government sees our worth is the same. We are like, it wasn't long that we were both in commodity lines, but we were. And the government, to the government, we're just scabs. We're feeding off of them. And the point is to, you took all this from us, now you owe us. You owe us your life. Come join our military and go die for oil. That's what we want. So then but it's not that simple. Then it gets to the nuances of like, well, if Mark and I go apply for a job, who gets the job? You know, like, there's shit like that, but that's a kind of an oversimplification of a very complicated situation.
But moving on from race, ethnicity, culture, racism, and all this shit we deal with on a daily basis and stuff that's imaginary ahead and all kind of stuff, right? There's a very important thing. Music and music publishing. How do you deal with your music publishing? And have you created a music publishing company yet for your music?
I haven't created a publishing company. I just recently heard about this. I don't know. I have a record label. I don't know if that's a publishing company. I don't think it is. It's different, right? Yeah. I don't have a publishing company. I just have a record label. I'm signed to myself.
Okay. I would encourage you to check out stuff like go to Song Trust and sign up at a BMI, EMI, one of those ASCAP, one of those places, and form yourself a music publishing company. Go create an LLC, create your company, and then create yourself a music publishing company. First of all, create yourself your little label. I don't know what you want to call it, 1876 music publishing or whatever, right? And then go and sign up all your music. So as you make music, right, just start it's nowadays it's so fucking simple. You just populate, upload, and type in some words, and then fucking you're done. Song Trust is somebody that I use to get my publishing squared away with a lot of shit. And I do this even though I'm not even a touring artist, so I'm not even famous, and hardly anybody streams on my shit for some fucking reason. I get money. Not a lot. But fucking, I just want to, you never know what's going to happen in the future, right? Yeah. And my thing is, if I can leave behind a legacy, I'm dead and gone, and I can leave behind a holding company and a trust, right, for my family, and my music somehow, for some reason, gets well played or some shit, or somebody knows what to do better than I do in the music business, and they can say, Tito has a cool song here. There's this cool jam right here. Let's do this and this with it, right? And down the road, you never know, because I do want legacy. When I'm dead and gone off this earth, I want people to turn around and be able to say, that guy, yeah, he fucking set us up, and now we're fucking super rich. Because you can get super rich off of dumbass shit. I haven't figured out the key. And that's one of the reasons why I have this podcast too, is because I want to learn different techniques. And if I have techniques that somebody else can learn, I want to disseminate it, because I believe the same thing that you're talking about, unity. We have to be able to learn and teach, right? And I haven't, over all my years, nobody's ever talked to me about music publishing, ever.
Yeah, me neither.
And I want to make sure that I'm doing my part to be able to encourage people to go get some publishing done, learn about publishing. All the information is out there, bro. I want you to fucking do it, because if something happens to you, and your music right now is blowing up and it's fucking cool as fuck, but it could end tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
But you never know what's going to happen. I mean, look at Redbone. Redbone was dormant for years, decades, right? And then a movie came out, and the fucking shit just blew up again, right? And that's what could happen. It's the magic of this timeless evergreen music that we make, right? Today what you make and put out might not even make sense to somebody, but fucking 30 years from now, someone might catch on to your wavelength finally and be like, oh, fuck. Yeah. That's what he was talking about, right? Because you don't fucking know.
I mean, all I have right now is my label. It is registered. It's a LLC, FTP Records. So everything is released under my record label, but that's as far as I know. That's as far as I go.
Well, awesome. I encourage you to go create your music publishing company. and document yourself doing it, dude. One of these days, you might want to disseminate that information to somebody you know,
Yeah.
and pass on the info to somebody else, whether
Yeah,
they're
man,
native
thank
or
you.
not. Because at this stage
Oh,
in my
yeah.
life, I don't really give a flying fuck if somebody really is native or not, or if that guy is black or this guy's white or that guy's Mexican, this guy's Puerto Rican. At the end of the day, we're human beings who have been taught to divide ourselves and to hate each other because of the way we look or sound or because of where we're from. But essentially, we all fucking take a shit, wipe our ass, sneeze, say hi, feel love, feel hate and anger, and we just want to fucking exist without fucking too much turmoil, right? And dude, I want to say appreciate you taking the time to hang out with me. I know it's just a lot of when I get on these things, I know I can go on a tangent too. I'm trying to cut back my amount of talking, so hopefully I let you talk enough. And if you ever want to get back on the show, just holler at me. We'll
man.
talk about whatever. We'll talk about some skinwalkers in your area, some shit.
Nah,
Halloween's
show up,
coming
man.
up.
Let me knock on my window.
Yep.
But I heard you were talking about me. You want to see me or what?
Go to gooderkind.com, and there's some they're called these characters I made. They're called nav emojis because I made an app where you can. I was inspired by Bitmoji, but I was like, fuck, I want that, but I want to be able to say shit in Navo, right? And so I started drawing up some stuff, and then I built an app and I put it out, and since it was stuff being said in Navajo and their emojis, I said, Nav emojis. But everybody keeps saying Navajo emojis and they're fucking it up. So I was like, I'm not going to do that anymore. I still got the app sitting out there, but I'm going to rebrand the whole thing. I'm going to create a new app. I'll leave that one sitting out there, but I'm going to rebrand it. I'm just going to call it something like Gooder Kind emojis or some bullshit or whatever, right? But if you go to the gooderkind.com, you'll see play an album, right? There's a bunch of music I made. It's just goofy shit that I did about Navajo Halloween stuff, right? So here's the thing. In Navajo, you're not supposed to talk about, I'm pretty sure it's the same way as your tribe. You're not supposed to talk about death. You're not supposed to do certain things at night and all these things, right? Because you call stuff and all that stuff, right? So I was like, you know what? For people, I'm thinking about my people, right? For people who really are always like, don't do that, don't do that, don't do that, don't say that, right? Don't do that at night, right?
Yeah.
You sure as hell celebrate the fuck out of Halloween. So I was like, you know what? For years I've been thinking like I want somebody to come out with fucking some music, and I'm just like you. If I don't hear it, I'm gonna fucking make it.
Right.
And so I like musicals. I like listening to musicals, and I like watching cartoons where they do stupid shit, right? And so I was like, all right, I'm gonna fucking do it. So I made Christmas songs and some Halloween songs. Go jam on them, have fun with them, and leave me your review. Let me know what you think. You can be cruel if you want, but I just be cruel in a nice way.
Pretty good for a half breed.
Yeah, not bad.
Yeah, right.
So, is there anything that you want to mention? Anything I didn't touch base on that you wanted to touch base on before we cut out here?
I did want to say about the video. The last question that you had, it wasn't about white people being bad. These were historical figures who tried to stop us. So it was Custer, it was Columbus, and Pilgrim. So it wasn't about, and it wasn't even. It was somebody brought this idea. A director brought this idea to us. It's like, hey, I've been thinking about this and blah blah blah. So it wasn't about white people were bad, because like you said, I know there's good and bad in it everywhere. In our own communities, there's bad, good. In the white community, there's good, there's bad. So it wasn't about white people are bad, and also the whole story arc of which I hope is something that people understand, is like when you see the person come from the future, they're still in similar, it's a futuristic version of our regalia. They're still there. They come from a future where robots are like humans, and the Indians, Cheyennes are still here. That was the message. No matter what happened, we will still be here. You know?
Badass.
So that was the important message to me. There's the surface thing of like white people are bad. No, these were big threats who tried to stop us, and even in the future, they can't stop us.
That's cool. Hey, you know what we should do on a future pod? we should probably break down your music. Like, just take a song, listen to it, break it apart. I'll ask you some questions. I'm always going to play devil's advocate.
Yeah.
And we can talk about certain things. Just because when I listen to music, I'm always like, whoa, why did he say that? Why did she say
this?
that? Why did that happen? I want to know what I'm listening to, because I'm not just some idiot who turns on music and I'm just like, it's so good stuff, man.
Yeah, yeah.
I fucking have a brain. I use it, and I got books that I read, and I have videos that I watch, and I would prefer to watch a documentary over just a movie.
Right.
And
Me
music
too.
is core to who I am, and so I would love to in the future someday sit down, have some time, probably just like this, and go through your catalog and just kind of talk about stuff. We don't have to listen to full songs, but we could do it more like a radio show where we're talking about the music, that you play the music, talk about the music. We'll sit here and listen to the, go through it, break down the idea and concept for a music video that you like, the one like you just now did, because I think that's important to me, to guys like me. It sounds like you're the same kind of weirdo where you just like, I want to know about this,
Yeah, why this? Yeah, dude, I'm down for that. It would be cool because you could make it more interactive with with socials and stuff like that. You could ask people like, what songs do you guys want to talk about? What you guys want to know about? What do you want to hear? Why?
Yeah.
What, have people vote on it and whatever. Yeah, dude, I'm down for that. You ever listen to Chris DeMakes a podcast?
Who?
Chris DeMakes a podcast is what it's called. He's the lead singer of Less Than Jake. It's a punk ska band from Florida. I know Less Than Jake. Yeah.
What's it called, Chris?
Chris DeMakes, which is his last name, DeMakes.
Got it.
A podcast.
I got it right here.
Yeah, so he does that basically. He breaks down songs and.
Oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, he'll find a song and like talk to the artist about it. But he's yet to have any Indians on there. So if you do this and you bring on Indian artists, that would be fucking sick. I'd be down.
See that's the whole thing right there. Because you had mentioned it earlier before. You're not seeing this, you're not hearing that, and also from bands like Rage and whoever, like they're talking on our behalf, but not talking to us. And who allowed them to talk for us? They're not my voice, and we have a voice.
Yeah,
we have a voice, and I want to talk to people. I want to fucking be able to ask a question, whether it's uncomfortable or not, and. I got to get down and I want to figure out what's going on in your brain, because talking to you now, I got a better understanding, not crystal clear, but I got a better understanding of who you are as an artist. It's going to make listening to your music more enjoyable. And when people say, who's this? I'm like, oh, interesting story. And my nerd comes out, right?
He hates everybody. He hates everything.
He hates everybody, but he makes really cool music. Check us out.
He's super cynical.
Yeah, but no, the same way you are right there. You think you're being negative. I often think that I'm being negative, and people sometimes will say, "Yeah, you are being negative." But then when I point out the fact that, hold on, I'm not negative, and here's why, and I'll put some bullet points, right, and then when you juxtapose that next to what they got going on, who's more negative, me or you? I actually believe in something. I actually am pushing for something. I actually love our people enough to fucking keep advocating for a voice, for the visuals, because media is super important, right? And when people tell me, oh, you're doing this because you're selfish, you're vain. Am I really? Or are you selfish and vain because you don't love your people enough to do something like this? Because voices are being eradicated every day right now, especially with big tech and the government and censoring and FBI and, shit like that. It's bad enough that's happening now, but our voices historically have been wiped off the books. That's why I haven't even uploaded all the other podcast episodes that I did for this. I have an episode about the actual naming of America, because I'm on this voyage I'm on this journey. I'm on this lifelong thing where I'm trying to figure out what it means to be an American and what it means to be indigenous, because I don't mind being called an American Indian. I don't mind being called a Mexican. I don't mind being called a Spaniard. I don't mind being called Navajo. But when I think about who I am, right, compared to what somebody else thinks, when I think about who I am, I'm even coming from a military background, I still didn't feel American.
Yeah.
Right? I didn't feel American. It just felt like I was here, but I wasn't an American. And I don't know how to explain that because I served the government that had a flag that I saluted, that I did things for, I went places for, and I was pretty proud to be a soldier, you know? And I've had this dilemma where I'm like, what does it mean to be a Native American, right?
Yeah.
And when I talked to Russell Means back in the day, he said that he would rather be called an American Indian because he was there when he argued with Congress about we shouldn't be called Native Americans because anybody from the Northern Hemisphere can be a Native American, but we are American Indians because that's the designation for us. And I remember talking to him about this a long time ago, and it never really stuck in my head until I started aging and thinking and going through the military and all kind of shit and just thinking about my life and doing different things that I have. And I was really trying to figure out what the fuck does it mean to be an American Indian, and breaking down stuff is really important to us. And I have like some episodes I'll pop up there from time to time. If you ever got time, go to the podcast there, go to gooderkind.com and click on some of the things. I have stuff about the actual naming of America, when it actually came from. I try to make things as entertaining as possible. It's hard when you're trying to give a history lesson, right?
Yeah.
Got a fly flying around. But the history of cigars, because you were talking about Barbados and your band, Flogging Molly and all that kind of stuff, right? I have an episode where I talk about the history of tobacco and or the history of cigars and the actual indigenous influence of it, the indigenous influence on the American Constitution and Canastotego, and how Canastotego mentored Benjamin Franklin. And if it wasn't for Canastotego and the Six Nations, there would be no Constitution. And so when I reflect back on when I was talking to Russell Means and he was saying, I love the Constitution because the Constitution is Indian law. Now, I didn't have his understanding because he's an enlightened, educated person. He came from a place of knowing something. That dude was light years ahead of everybody. He was like from the future. And he's just trying to fucking talk to primitive people like me, where I'm just still scratching my ass. Like, And he's and years later, I'm trying to understand my place in America as an indigenous person. And I'm like, oh, fucking A, this dude, Russell Means, when I was talking to him, he said to me, and I totally missed it. He probably thought I was a fucking numbskull, right? And I probably was. I still am. But that's why this is important. I want to break down stuff, silly shit, serious stuff, the whole 9 yards. Bro, I appreciate you being on the show. I look forward to being in contact with you in the future, hearing your music. Yeah, and I hope to see you fucking blow up and become a fucking multimillionaire, man. Because there's nothing evil with money, you know? Right,
yeah. Evil has nothing to do with money.
No, I absolutely don't believe so. I believe it's the person who wields the axe. Because if you have an axe, and you can use it for chopping wood, making a fire, cooking, and building a home, or you can take an axe and murder a bunch of people. So it's the person that wields the axe.
True. Yeah. Yeah, I guess that's fair. I mean, I'm not doing this to become a millionaire. I want a message to be heard, and punk rock is loud, powwow music is loud, and if you put a microphone in front of me, I'm gonna say what's on my mind. That's
awesome.
But thanks for letting me be here, dude. Bro. Appreciate it, and I'll talk to you next time.
Awesome, bro. You have a good one.